just having like a nice conversation. Let me pull you up too. Also, I'm gonna burp. I'm disgusting.
I
Hold
Do
on.
mean,
it.
we
Do it.
can continue to
Oh
have
god.
a nice conversation and many more, hopefully.
Many,
More
many, many
and
more.
burp at the same time. Max Grim. Holy shit.
What?
God. Sometimes so I pulled up Twitch and it was like a race car driver commercials like dun 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 dun
Ugh.
dun 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 and I'm like, this is too aggressive.
Like, calm down a little bit.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
Oh, you even have the Freddy glove.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Is Freddy your fave?
Oh, yeah. Big time. I literally, like, I'll just turn the camera. It's probably going to get blurry at some point. So we've got a little Fred right here, but then you can kind of see the collection.
I love that. Look
Yeah.
at all of it.
Yeah, 3 shelves. Actually, sorry, 4 shelves dedicated to Fred. And then the rest get whatever's left over.
What's your favorite Fred?
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
Solid
Freddy
choice.
versus Jason's
Yeah.
fantastic.
He's so good.
And my other favorite is Dream Warriors.
See, Dream Warriors is the fan favorite, and it used to be my favorite, and now it's not anymore. And some people are like taken aback when I say it's not even in my top 3. And I'm like, listen, it's
That's
nothing
fine.
personal. I have my reasons. I do have my reasons
Yeah.
for why it's not my favorite anymore.
For me, I just love the kills. I'm
Oh, the
super
kills
into
are
kills.
fantastic.
A movie can be really bad, like a horror movie can be like just fucking trash. But if there are really cool kills, like I'm down.
Oh yeah, like if it's
you know.
trash, I love it. If it's great, I love it. If it's middle of the road, I love it. Like, but especially if it's trash, I love it. You know, I like my
love
trash.
trash.
I'm like a raccoon.
Oh, you're a horror trashy raccoon.
Yeah.
I love 80s trash.
80s trash.
80s trash.
See, 80s trash is just like a completely different vibe, a different kind of trash. Nothing comes close to 80s trash.
Tell me about your trash. Twash. When I say that, I added a W with the trash. So, do you like 90s trash, 2000s trash, 80s trash? Like, what kind of trash?
Oh God, I think I love it all. Again, like I'm a raccoon. I'll take all the trash. Like I love sort of like a trash TV in the sense of like we were talking about Jersey Shore the other day, and I'm like total trash. Love it. 10 out of 10 trash. My favorite kind of trash. I love just trashy 80s horror movies. Well, I was gonna say Frankenhooker, but I actually don't consider that trashy, even though I would say that's like its own genre of trash. Like they are meant to be a little trashy, you know.
Can we just go on and on about Frankenhooker all
Yeah,
day
we
long?
can.
Because so like okay, I am a huge Frank Henenlotter fan. I love his movies so much. I have a like fucking statue of Elmer from Brain Damage. I love Frankenhooker. Like, and they all just like sound like me. Like, want a date?
Want a date?
like I love those movies. Basket Case. I met last year. Dwayne from Basket Case. He looks exactly the same but old, and he is the nicest man I've ever met. I met him at a horror convention. I love those 3 movies so fucking much. Like, oh my god. And I think it's kind of trashy. I definitely would put him in there.
Like it's very intentionally trashy. It's supposed to be kind of like subversive. And it's supposed to kind of insult you a little bit and make you uncomfortable and make you question things. Like it's not for the status quo, it's not for the general public. It is trying to intentionally be a little greasy, but that's why we love it.
A little greasy.
Yeah.
And I think when you say greasy, I automatically think of in Brain Damage. That's the one with the fucking worm and how like he inserts that like blue goo into you.
Yes.
And you get all like sweaty. And now I'm thinking about it being greasy.
They're always sweaty. They're always sweaty in those movies.
They're sweaty. They're sweaty
So
Gatorade.
Sweaty.
Like so disgusting.
So sweaty. But that's how I like it.
Out of those 3, Max, which one's your favorite? Frankenhooker, Brain Damage, or Basket Case?
God, it's such a hard choice. Probably Brain Damage. I think I like when you do the impression of the little worm thing.
Wait, can I hear the
That's the
Wait, I wanna
only
hear the
reason I like
impression.
that.
I'm flustered. Hold on.
There's a clip from our podcast where me and Allie are like pretending to be the worm from Brain Damage, and, and
I need to see this clip.
and it's just. And I don't remember what happened, but Allie was like, I want to see this worm with Max's laugh. And or like every time it like takes something from the human, it takes like my laugh from me. And it was really funny because Allie just did her impression of it, and it was just her talking about how much she wants my laugh.
Ooh.
I think that it was the line where the main character Brian was like confronting Elmer about the girl the hooker that he just like killed. I think it was a hooker, or a guy, something like that, or like he bit a guy's wiener off, and and the guy Brian, he was like, "Is she dead?" And he's like, "Of course she's dead, Brian. I sucked out her brains."
But so polite about it. Like just so tactful.
And the eyebrows when they move up and down, I'm just like, what the fuck? He's like, Brian, you're gonna need my juice. He's just like, it's just the lines are so good. It's just so good. Holy shit.
It's the best kind of trash. Best kind of trash.
It is the best kind of trash. I really when I think of like trashy like horror, I think of like those like trauma movies like Tromeo and Juliet and Toxic Avenger.
Oh,
and then
Toxic Avenger is right up there. Yep.
So I have not seen the new one. I don't know if any of you guys did.
I did not.
It's definitely not the same story that they're telling, and it makes me sad because Toxie, that's like my favorite love story. You've got like this hot blind bitch, right? Like this hot blind bitch who's just, and then for whatever reason, when the Toxic Avenger guy gets all, toxic and avengery, he gets a hot voice. So she doesn't know that he's like, fucking, Tumor City or whatever he is. Yeah.
The little nerdy was before.
He was nerdy was before. And they're just doing it the whole time. And I'm like, that's such a great story. But now they changed it, and it's not going to be that love story anymore. But my heart lives on. Gosh.
She didn't see him, but she heard him. We love him. We love him. Someone who can hear.
Yes. we stand a listener.
Yeah.
But he sounded hot. Like he almost had that Elmer voice. I'm like, hi. It was like a hot voice. Like if I closed my eyes, I'd be like, ooh, that's a hot voice. But then when I opened my eyes, I'd be like, ooh, baby.
I don't know. I think I'd still be like, you know what? I can get past this.
The nerd form, yes. But like Mr. Bumpy,
I could. I would.
It's kind of just like you took a pile of shit and gave it a British accent. Like
I mean, yeah, I'm not against it, you know? Like
it is a pile of shit and it does smell bad, but it does sound very nice.
Yeah, like but the voice, Yeah. Like, and he's nice to me.
And he's nice to you, yeah.
That pile of shit is nice to you. See, all of us just require the requirement in life, guys, is just be nice to me.
Truly, I've given up on everything else. Like, just be nice to me and love me, please.
You smell like shit. You're not particularly appealing to be around. But thanks for telling me I look cute today.
And like holding the door open for you, getting you flowers. Like I don't care that you're a walking, talking, literal pile of shit, you know?
Nothing like
a walking, talking pile of shit.
Nothing like
opening the door for you.
nothing like a pile of shit to show you Shivery's not dead.
It's literally Mr. Hanky from South Park. That's who we're actually talking about. Except, wait, no, he's also a piece of shit personality-wise. He got canceled. Never mind. I take it back.
Lexorcism? Hello?
Howdy-ho!
I'm Mr. Hanky, the Christmas blue. Small and proud, I come from you. All right,
God.
hold on.
Mhm.
Let's get down to business.
Okay.
To defeat
Where are
the
you
Huns.
hiding the bodies of Where are you hiding the bodies of Spooky Bad and Thick? Max, that was great. I really liked that. That was really quick. Now I have it as song stuck in my head. Where are they?
Under the floorboards.
You could tell us, yeah.
Yeah, under the
Checks
floorboards,
out.
like right there, you know. Convenient.
There's like 3 sets of feet just like hanging out, like,
Yeah, like kind of
Wicked
cut up
Witch
a
of the
little
West
bit.
style. Yeah. It's fun because there's so many of my streamer friends who have changed their names this past year. And how long have you been streaming for?
Oh, like just like a year and a half, I think.
Okay, so most of them are like in that 3 to 5 range area, and I'm like, maybe it's just like after a certain time you just need a refresher. What First of all, I want to know how you came up with the name Spooky Bad and Thick, because I'm going to tell you something. I need to confess something.
Okay, confess.
That is my favorite name to just meme all the time. So like a couple days ago, I said to Max, I was like, hey Max, because I talk to him every day and we just like say like random shit to each other and like send each other like things. And I'm like, Max, who's your favorite? Spooky, Bad, or Thick? like just like out of like nowhere, like no context. I'm just like, I'm thinking Thick. I think it's so fun. So how did you come up with that name, and what made you want to change it to Lexorcist, which is a fucking cool ass name, and I assume is a play on your birth name?
Yes, I'm so clever. I'm so original. So I have had the username longer than I've actually been streaming. So it was like my Twitter username first, and it was back in like college. I had deleted my Twitter prior. And so I'm drunk with my friends and they're like, make a new Twitter, make a new Twitter. I'm like, okay, but I want to do a different username. I don't want to put my name in there. Like, I don't need my mom finding it and giving me shit for the things I'm tweeting. So we were just trying to come up with a name, and I forget what song it is where they specifically say the line bougie bad and thick, but one of my friends was like, oh my god, spooky bad and thick, and I was like, shut up, I'm stealing that. But I will give you credit for it anytime I'm asked about it. So then I made new accounts just under that, and so I've had it for years. Started streaming on a whim in 2024, and then was already considering changing my username across the board kind of before that. Because as I've gotten older, I was like, it's a funny name. Literally probably the greatest thing I'm ever going to do, and it wasn't even my idea. But at the same time, I'm nearing 30, and I don't necessarily want my online identity, even though it's probably more tied to horror, to also just be tied to like thickness or like my body in a sense. And it wasn't like oh, I don't like my body, or oh, I don't like being thick, or I think I am, you know, beyond that now. But it was like, I'm kind of ready to just like move away from that comedic aspect, or like focusing on like the thickness of it all, and kind of just find something that's more generic across the board, but like still feels like me.
You're in the thick of it now.
Oh yeah, I always have been and always will be.
I was holding on to that. It was palpitating.
I could tell. I could see it.
I was like, I was gonna say, I was curious as to if changing the name had anything to do with you getting any comments about your body because it has thick in the title, because so many excuse me, so many people like don't think before they say stuff, especially when they're hiding behind a keyboard. And like, I don't know if you have ever experienced like any sort of like like harassment, or like they come in and be like, oh, thick, huh?
All
So
the time.
not sure if that was something. Yeah.
Oh
all the
yeah, it was
time.
constant. Like even again before, like back when because I used to post on TikTok like all the time during COVID, just making stupid TikToks about DBD, like really stupid. I'm talking like shit posts, and people, of course, like a lot of the comments would be like, "Oh, thick," like "Oh, thick," or when I started playing DBD, and that was my just kind of like my general name, although I'd change it from time to time just to like be funny. 9 out of 10 times in the pregame chat, it'd be like, how thick? How thick are we talking? How thick? And then obviously streaming too, we'd get people being like, oh, how thick? Like I remember playing Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I avoid games with a voice proximity chat for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things I got in one of my first games was like, ooh, how thick are we talking? And it just gets old after a while. It's like, listen, like I get it. We all love an ass. Like we all love women and women's bodies and hips. Like I love them. I love women. I love thick bodies, but like it's getting old. Do you think you're the first to say it? You're not. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Men.
I used to have
Disgusting
a
creatures.
men. Men are just, there's something. They think they're funny and they're not.
And they're
You
never,
think you're all
never.
funny, you're not funny. I had a similar before Twitch. I had a similar user tag, but I feel like mine was a little bit more comedic rather than like, not thick is like putting it out there, but like thick is more putting it out there than beef. So I had beef sigh. And all I did was play Dead by Daylight, and I used Jane Romero.
Always Jane. Always.
I'm a big booty Judy main, and I will never change. I've been big booty Judy diehard since day one. She gets no cute outfits, she gets no cute faces, but damn, that girl thick, and I love it. So my name was Beef Sigh, which is kind of like my name for a pussy fart. And I would use that. So then people would be like, beef. Like they would just like laugh and they'd be like, beef. And I'm using like big booty Judy, they'd be like, beef? Like that is the funniest. And they typed it, be like, beef. GG's beef. And they're just, it was such a good time. I swear, I'm telling you this now, if I did not think of the Ali G show, I would have definitely been Beef Sigh on Twitch. Can we imagine? It's I probably would have changed it by now.
Yeah.
Max changed his name too.
Yeah.
I saw.
Recently, Max Grimm.
It's my stage name.
Damn. That's your stage name?
Yeah.
We could have a was that from Jack and Mary Make a Porno? I could have a porn name, and I'm gonna be Pete Jones. It's just like so fucking stupid. Sorry. So you were saying that you were thinking about changing from spooky, bad, and thick. Did you already have Lexorcist in mind?
Not exactly. I was like, I kind of want something where, again, it's not my actual name, because my actual name, it's just Alexa, but it's not spelled the normal way. And so, A, people just get it wrong all the time. And B, you can't really do any puns with it because of the spelling. So I was like, shit, I gotta shorten it. And then right off the bat, I'm like, I was like, what can I even do with that that's horror themed? Because all I really wanted was something that felt me, but still horror. And I'm like, well, right off the bat, Lexorcist, of course, I look it up. Somebody already has the username, on different platforms spelled the right way. So I was like, okay, really can't think of any other words where Lex works that don't sound stupid. And I was messaging one of my friends and my mods, Nerdy, the day that I was like brainstorming, and I was like, help me pick a fucking name. And then I spelled it as cyst, like CYST. And I was like, is this gross? Like, is this icky? It feels icky. And he was like, no, I love it.
I think it's very femme. Like, I think it's like really badass. I noticed that it was spelt like that right away, and I thought that was a first choice decision because it's kind of like girl power badass, and I love that. I also love the fact that you're just like, is this gross? Because I would have 100% done the same thing.
And he's like, well, horror's kind of gross, and I'm like, right, but like, do people normally want to think of like cysts? Probably not, but like literally can't spell it any other way, and it's already taken the right way. So, and again, I couldn't think of like anything else that worked with my name. And maybe I just didn't think hard enough, but I was like, this is all I've got. It's all I can think of. I'm sticking to it. The username exists across the board. Let's take it while it's there.
Did you think of the name? This is the stupidest fucking thing I'm ever gonna say. Did you think of the name in all caps? Alexa!
No. No. And again, it's not spelled the normal way, so I guarantee most people would look at it and immediately just their brain recorrects. And I don't blame them for it. I don't blame them. But also the Alexa jokes kill me. I worked in a call center, and 9 out of 10 times, as soon as I'd be like, thank you for calling, insert name brand here. This is Alexa. How can I help you? To be like, Alexa, like the Amazon thing? I'm like, oh my God, you're so clever. You're the first person to ever say that to me.
Tee thick. Tee Alexa.
Although I did make one of my channel point redemptions, Alexa play, and then it just says blank. So that way when someone has a Spotify request, it's like, Alexa, play this song. So like I also did capitalize on the joke myself. But I'm allowed to. It's my name. So
that's the good thing about like having like your name in things that are like pop culture now, having like the internet, because we can take them and make them into sound bites. Yes. Like when you subscribe to me, it's from Hocus Pocus. The sound goes, Allison, Allison, kiss me on Allison.
Wait, I didn't even
like,
notice that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I fucking love it.
Oh,
Max, what's your favorite sound redeem?
Of like mine or
I
mean
yours.
Daddy, obviously. Like, if I had to choose a favorite,
gotta be
Daddy. I love in Max's Rage trailer when it's like, "Don't call me Daddy, I'll come."
That was mushy streamer brain all the way that day. Good Lord.
That was so good.
I was in the middle of a thought, and I couldn't finish the thought until I had said something about the redeem, and then I lost my train of thought after that.
That's because the thought that needed to be said was said.
Yeah.
Nothing more needed to be said after that.
And then, yeah. And then here we are. I have so many sus clips. It's a problem.
No.
You do.
Not a problem.
And the thing is, Max is like, when he's sus in lowercase. And it just makes it like more fun to me. So I'm
like
just like, I'm not sure. Yeah, like it's like, yeah, subtle sus.
Yeah.
Stupid. So stupid. No, he's a sweet baby angel. Mm-hmm. Do you know the story about how he was created?
No.
We don't just have one story about how I was created. I'm basically Jesus. There's so many stories about how
I want the best one. I demand the best story.
So the one that I tell, and Max probably could tell a different one. The one that I tell is, do you know a horror streamer named Crimz? XXCRIMZ.
I don't know.
Her and I are very close friends, and we are his mothers. And how we created him was we scissored and then crocodile rolled in a bathtub, because we both have big boobs. Mm-hmm. So we can't, when you have big boobs and you're in a bathtub, you have to kind of do this in order to like get yourself like completely wet.
Of course.
Giggity. So we crocodile rolled in a bathtub and then we scissored. And that called down our friend Eris, the stork, to bring down baby Max.
Oh,
and that is our story about his consumption.
It's so beautiful.
Consumption.
We didn't eat him. We didn't eat him. What is it?
Conception.
Oh, I immediately thought you meant the plague when you said consumption. Just a touch of consumption.
What's another story, Max?
It's well, the one that I tell is that it's you, Crimmy, Sam, and Sumi are all So there's like a pentagram on the floor, right? And they're
Oh.
all like facing towards each other, legs open. They just like pop out a piece of me, like each one of them, and they just assemble me like a Build-A-Bear.
Oh, so you were Frankenstein.
Pretty much.
Okay.
They pretty much
he's
just did
perfect.
like the Voltron thing where it's like, and I'll form the head, and then just like a head pops out.
So which part did you pop out, Allie?
What do you think, Max? What did you get from me?
That's a good question. At least one leg.
At least.
Hopefully it's the right one. It's way stronger. At least one leg.
That's why one of my
That's
legs
so
is
funny.
longer than the other, because everyone else is
That's
so
true.
short. Compared to Allie,
You're like
at
Frankie
least.
Hooker, yeah. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, I'm so tall compared to everybody. Everyone
tall are you?
that I meet, I'm 5'8".
Oh, I envy you.
I literally I hung out with like 3 of my friends yesterday, two of which are Twitch friends, and we're just like taking pictures, and I'm like this, and they're all like titty height. It's like 2 girls and a guy, and I'm just like, I'm like all of you are my children. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Also, my family members were all short. My mom and my sister are like 5 foot, 5'1".
Oh my
It's
god.
like I don't know where I came from. I don't know what
A
happened
stork.
to me. Maybe I
A
was
different
assembled.
stork. Maybe.
Yeah, a different dude. A different store.
A different stork.
That's right. My mom, I'm trying to get her to tell me that I'm adopted, but she keeps saying no, but it's not because I was adopted, it's because I was storked.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever it's called. You know.
Stork.
Dorked? Okay.
Yeah, stork.
All right. I'm going with it. If you believe it, I'm here for it.
Max, what's the definition of storked?
You're asking me, but I just heard the word for the first time. I thought it was
I
an
think it's
animal,
a
not a
native-
verb.
Okay, so we're improv-ing right now. Max, what is the definition of storked?
I would assume when the stork gives you the wrong child, like in Dumbo.
Oh.
Oh shit, that's deep. Fucking Dumbo is the
Or-
saddest goddamn movie I've
Or
ever.
So
Yoshi's
sad.
Island.
What happens on Yoshi's Island?
Yeah.
Mario gets delivered to the Yoshis instead of the human parents that he's supposed to get.
Oh,
delivered
I
to.
remember now. I
Yeah.
remember now.
Shit. Is there any like horror movies that are like that? Like
I-
someone gets delivered to the wrong.
Specifically by a stork, or just in general?
Just in general. I've never seen a horror movie with a stork. Holy shit! If you
We
have
need to
seen
make
one, please
that.
tell me.
I'm googling as we speak.
Dude, it will be called storked.
It would be. Oh wait,
Just a
there's literally
jacked stork.
Wait, about to blow your mind. In VHS Beyond, the first segment is literally about a giant monster stork
That's pretty
that
sick.
steals babies.
That's fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
There we go.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Origin story right there. Stork.
That's how you came to be. The big,
That's
tall
right.
monster stork.
I'm in. I'm in a VHS movie too. I'm in. That's my dad. That's my dad.
Dad?
Dad? That's why I look like this. I'm just like, that's
That's what storks do.
We also have a running joke about me that that all of my mommy issues are from the fact that I have too many moms and not instead of like not enough. And I have like a journal for each one of them, and I have like a shit ton of pens to write in all my trauma about it.
One journal for each mom.
Yeah. And it's like each journal's like this big. Like, and the pens are like the pens are just like this big around. Like it takes like an entire like day to write out my trauma with it.
You should get one of those like different ones where you can like change the color, so that way you just have one pen and you can just change the color for each journal.
Mm. Yeah, but then it would
Max is
need to
like,
be like huge. Like
I'll get you a giant one. I'll find a giant color changing pen.
dude, I love gel pens.
Oh, so smooth.
Sparkly, smooth gel
Glittery.
pens. Glitter. Oh my
Give me the glitter.
God. If I was an anime broad, I'd be just using glitter pens all the time.
You'd have to.
I mean, I would have to. And my glitter pens would be magical.
Mm-hmm.
They would do something.
Would that be, so that would be like your magic power? It comes from the gel pens.
Yeah, so like I have a gel pen, right? I have a gel pen. It's not, fuck you, it's not a gel pen. But then like, I'm doing like, my homework and stuff, and then like a big baddie comes in the room and they're just like, boo, I'm gonna kill all the kids, right?
Oh.
And I'm just like, no, you're not. And then I like hold up the pen like Sailor Moon style, and I'm just like, gel pen makeup, and then I'm just like whoosh, and then the gel pen is just like, oh God, and then it like sparkles the baddie, and the baddie goes like, oh God, it's so pretty, I hate pretty, and
I'm
then
so
they
beautiful.
explode. I'm so beautiful.
I like it.
That's the plot of Storked.
Yes.
Magical Girl
Stork's
horror
fake
movie
glitter.
would be so good.
It would be.
What does a stork sound like?
I mean,
You're the
I'm
master
assuming
of animal impressions. Figure it out.
Just figure it out.
No, it came out wrong. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that was very impressive.
I'm sorry.
I did my horse impression yesterday. We were watching The Ring, the original Ring, and it was the part with the horse, right?
Yeah.
And I looked at everybody because I was like, and I was like, you guys want to hear my horse impression?
I want to hear your horse impression.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, hold on. Max is like, not again. Max
This
is
happens
like,
every time.
Okay, I gotta take off my headphones because I gotta shake my head.
Okay. Just getting ready.
I can't look at
She's
Max.
like
Max is
winding
so
it up.
disappointed.
Like... She's like one of those like dolls that you like crack.
Oh. That's pretty good.
She's just like
Thanks,
sneezing into a pair of titties. That's just the whole thing.
It did look a little bit like motorboating.
That's what the horses
I'm not
do.
saying
That's
that's
what they
not
look like.
what they
not
do.
denying
I'm
that.
just saying like that's what it looks like and sounds like.
Little bit.
Well,
Not a bad thing.
that's okay
Yeah,
with me. Yeah,
It's not a bad thing.
titties are great.
They are.
Who doesn't
10 out
love
of
them?
10.
No matter who you are, if there's tits, then like there's something happy in the room.
Yes. I love women.
Dude. Women
Stay
are
for a
just
pleasure.
so
Brought to you by
beautiful.
women.
By women.
Brought to you by women. Yes. They're just so pretty. They're so soft, and they have boobies.
And they smell good.
And they smell good.
And they're
They don't smell like
funny.
shit.
They're not walking, talking pieces of shit.
They're not walking, talking pieces of shit.
Full circle.
Yeah, I love that so much. Speaking of walking, talking pieces of shit, when I first started streaming, I streamed Dead by Daylight. That's all I streamed for the first year. But then there were so many walking, talking pieces of shit that would come around in my chat that I could not stream anymore. Do you get that at all? Do you get people coming in and just being obnoxious into your Twitch channel?
Not really. And that's not to say it doesn't happen, because it does happen. It's happened from time to time, but it's so rare that like I can remember the specific instances to the detail because it's the anomaly. Oh my God, the anomaly. The anomaly. It's not the norm. And I feel like overall my experience with DBD, at least since I've been streaming, like, compared to when I was playing beforehand, because I took a break between playing normally and then didn't play for a while and then started streaming and playing it again. I feel like I rarely run into the experiences that a lot of people have, whether they're streaming or not, that they consider toxic. And I don't know if it's a mindset thing because there are certain things that people consider toxic that I don't, or if it's that I just kind of stopped giving a shit. And so things that maybe were meant to be insults just kind of flew over my head. Could be the latter, probably the latter, but it's very rare that I run into like the typical shitty person in DBD. I feel like 9 out of 10 times my experiences are very positive or neutral or friendly.
That's awesome. I wish that happened to me.
I was
Like, I
gonna
wish
say.
that my experience, you know what I mean? Like, Max and I have both had like so many bad experiences, but maybe it's different now, or you know, people are tame. Like, I play Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like, I love, that's like my probably my favorite ASIM. And when it first came out, and there was like that voice, I don't do voice chat, but I did that one day, and there was people like dropping bad words and stuff, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, holy shit. But now, like, it is so fine, it's not toxic, it's so refreshing, and I'm glad to hear that you're having like a positive experience with Dead by Daylight not being toxic, not being toxic to the point where you are predominantly just a Dead by Daylight streamer. Do you ever stray from Dead by Daylight or horror in general for streaming?
I only strayed from horror to play Schedule 1 for like like a couple times, and then I haven't picked it up since because I'm really, really bad at sticking to non-story based games that are not horror based. Like, I really, for everything, it's just like a hyperfixation or like an obsession. It really is like 90% horror for me. And I've played other games, like I played the Silent Hill 2 remake. You know, I play Mortuary Assistant sometimes, Phasmophobia.
Mhm.
I actually am going to be playing it next week because there's going to be a new map and everything. But really, it's so
Mhm.
hard for me to stray outside of horror. Although I did have a, what is it? The fucking like Disney, like Animal Crossing style game. Is it Disney Dreamlight? I had a phase where I played that like religiously for like a couple months, and then I never touched it again.
Did you stream that?
Oh no, this was before the streaming era for me. I just played it.
Did you start the streaming era with Dead by Daylight, or did you start with a different game?
Oh, I started with DBD. So I have been playing DBD, I think, since 2019. It's hard for me to remember because I didn't really grow up playing video games outside of like Mario. Like, I had a Game Boy, so I played Mario and Pokemon. And then my parents got us a Wii. And then that was it. And then I ended up getting like a really old Xbox 360 so I could play the Batman Arkham games and Injustice. And that was it.
Nice.
So this is so embarrassing to admit. I started playing DBD on DBD mobile because I didn't have any other choice. And so I ended up being really fucking good on mobile. And then I finally got a Switch Lite. So I switched over to Switch like within like the same year. Was like, wow, this is so much harder when you're actually playing with controls. I feel stupid. I had a couple friends who I would play with at the time, and then I got my PC in 2022. So then I had to kind of relearn how to play Dead by Daylight. And I used to be both a killer main and a survivor main. I was really balanced. Like, I used to play so much killer, honestly, compared to survivor, but I played both pretty evenly. And then PC. And I was like, wow, I'm actually really scared of survivors. In my opinion, survivors are meaner than killers, and I'm scared. So I'm going to play survivor for a while. And I turned into a survivor main because I was too scared to play killer. And then it was Easter in 2024. I keep forgetting what freaking year it is. And we came home early from like visiting family, and I really wanted to play DBD. And at this point, I hadn't played in months. I wasn't friends with the people I used to play with, so I stopped playing because I wasn't having fun with solo queue. And it used to be that mindset of we were taking it so seriously, and one of my friends in particular would get really tilted or like would be really toxic, and I never liked being that way. But you kind of, when you're around it, it's hard not to mimic that behavior. And like DC when I'm getting frustrated. So we get home early, and I'm like, I really, really want to play DBD, and I want to make friends, but I don't know how to do it. And I'm too shy to like enter Discord servers or like post on social media and be like, who wants to play? So my fiance, Kevin, he was like, why don't you just try streaming? Like, you might meet people through it. So I sat down and I just went live. And literally in the first day I met, or no, it wasn't the first day. I met some very nice people the first day. It was the second day. I'm streaming DBD again, and I meet Vel and Abra, who are two of my really good friends now and also my mods. And they were like, so how long have you been streaming? And I was like, this is my second day doing it. I don't know what I'm doing. I just went live. And they were like, no fucking way. And I ended up making so many friends through it, and it was through DBD, and it completely changed just like my outlook on DBD in general, because I was like, everybody takes it so seriously and it's so us versus them, and I think people need to kind of break out of that mindset and start to view it more neutrally. So I was like, this is just gonna be a space for Survivor and Killer Mains to get along and not give a fuck about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I went a little off topic from the original question, but it all kind of like ties together.
No, absolutely. And you said that you made some those people that you met the second day. Are they still your friends? Are they? Do you say they were your moderators or?
Oh yeah, they were my first mods. They helped me make my Discord server because like I had a Discord, didn't use it, like never used it. Still really don't know anything about it. Like 9 out of 10 times, I have no idea what I'm doing in it. But they helped me set like everything up. And kind of just like taught me how to do things when it came to streaming, because one of them was streaming more at the time. She doesn't really stream anymore, but she was streaming. So they just kind of took me under their wing. They adopted me. They're together, and like they're my moms, and they adopted me literally. And they were treating me like their streaming daughter. And yeah, no, we became really, really good friends. A lot of the people I met early on were all really, really close. Like one of them who I met really early on, she goes by Aussie. We're actually meeting up in person in January. We're going to, the Warrens, like Ed and Lorraine Warren. Their house was a lot of their shit was purchased by Matt Rife, who I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard not great things, but so one of the things they're doing is their literal house. So I'm not talking like the Conjuring house. I'm talking Ed and Lorraine Warren's house, where their little museum is. They were allowing people to stay overnight, up to groups of 8 people. And she reached out because we play Phasmo a lot. She's like, "Would you do this with like me and some of my friends?" And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it. And to Kevin, I'm like, you want to do it? He goes, absolutely not. And if you come home possessed, I'm going to be really upset. And I was like, well,
I would fucking do it. It's Connecticut, right?
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what? It's a chance to meet somebody. And like, I wouldn't be doing something like this if I hadn't started randomly streaming and made the friends I made.
When did you because I don't know if anyone in chat knows, but Lex and I, this is pretty much like our first time actually like meeting. Max is uncanny for knowing who would make great guests on this podcast. Were a very, very sought out guest. Max always talks about you all the time. Like I'll just be talking about pancakes and he'll just be like, oh, he goes, it's so spooky. He's like, oh, spooky, like loves pancakes, like he'll just be talking about you. When did you and Max meet? I'm so interested. And also, Max, do you want to introduce our guest?
Sure, I guess. I mean, just putting me on the spot. You can do that, I guess.
I don't know.
This is Lex, wonderful friend of the channel. My favorite DBD streamer. So.
No fucking way. There's got to be somebody better at the game. That is your favorite.
I don't know him.
Okay.
I also don't like DBD. You know I don't like DBD.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I don't blame anybody who doesn't.
I remember walking into Spooky's chat once. I was like, I uninstalled DBD this morning. The weight of the world got off my shoulders. And you were like, no, it's fine. It's fine. We don't have to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. Well,
I don't blame you. I support it, actually. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I honestly don't remember exactly, and it's just because I have a shit memory.
It was, I want to say it was one of the first Crypt community raid trains.
Okay, thank you. I think that's what it was, because I only participated in one. Because I remember I was trying to, again, like, I try to do stuff to get out of my comfort zone, which I'm really, really bad at doing. And so I participated in that, and I'm pretty sure that's actually how we first met, period.
Yeah.
Was that
Yeah, because I don't think I said anything when we raided in, but I definitely came back like a day or two later, and
I think you did like the raid message that was being done that day, because I remember, I think, then recognizing your name the second time, because I try to go out of my way to remember people's usernames at the very least. And I remember to me be like, oh, I think you're from like the raid from the other day, or like from the crypt community, because I remembered seeing you post about it and like on Twitter and stuff. I remember finding you pretty early on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a member of the crypt community? Are you a part of the stream team?
No, I'm in the Discord, but I never say anything. I literally just like lurk. Even in my own Discord, I'm so bad at messaging in it, and like just in general with Discord servers, I try, but I get very, very anxious. I feel like I'm almost intruding on an existing space. And I'm like, I don't want to like, I don't want to like try to insert myself in like an established group, you know, or like feel like a tryhard.
Surface.
I'm so sorry. My cat just yelled at me. Hi, baby.
Oh my god, I love cats. I have 2 cats too.
I don't know if she'll let me pick her up or not. Do you want to get in bed? Do you want to get in bed and like go hang out there while I'm talking? You want to get in bed?
The baby. Oh yes.
Get in bed. Okay, never mind.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
She doesn't like it when she doesn't have attention being paid to her. Hi.
Oh.
Get in the window.
No, that's okay. This is a very important part of the stream. Cats they take #1 priority. My youngest one, Gus, I have 2 tuxedo cats. I'm obsessed with tuxedos. He is a mama's boy, and he does this thing where he gets on his 2 legs, and while I'm streaming, and he'll be like, and he'll tap me, and I call him tippy tappies, and he'll be like, and he just wants attention. He wants rubs. I'm just like, oh, because he has an upside down hard nose, and I'm just like, how can I? I'll have to send you pictures. I'm like, how can I just get anything done in life? I feel like you would be perfect for a stream team. Are you on any stream teams currently?
No.
I know you said you're only a year and a half in.
Yes, I've literally only been doing it for a year and a half. I applied for Femmes of the Fog, and I'm friendly with a couple of because they're just an awesome stream team. So I did apply for them, or I reapplied once I changed my name, because I reached out and I was like, "Hey, I did apply, but I changed everything. Would you prefer a new application?" And Danny Blizzard, one of the founders, I join her stream sometimes. We've been a little friendly here or there. She's really great. So I did apply, and they do it in waves. But I'm not a part of like any official stream teams or anything.
I was gonna say that Femmes the Fog, I just did a Fear Fest with them. I played with L from Under, Tame Baby, and XS Liz. And it's so fun because I was like, all right, I'm the only one from CEOs, and I'm like, I'm not a Dead by Daylight main, but like I could hold my own in Dead by Daylight. I've played enough of it. These girls are so it's okay. Hear me out. There is nothing negative I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But this is their thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can tell this is their thing. It's another language that they're speaking.
Yep.
You know, it's very like I know enough to get by. It's like sloppy Spanish. Like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, I could hold a basic conversation, but then like I'm not sure about like some of the new perks and some of the new stuff. So like they do, but they're so good at it and so tactical, and they think, and I'm just like, oh, I'll just, I'm not.
I'm just gonna run.
I died every round. I was like, God damn it. I was like, please look good in front of these girls. I'm like, I look terrible, but they were so fun. They're such nice girls. And I was going to ask you if you ever applied to Femmes of the Fog, and what kind of like criteria they have for their stream team. Like, I'm assuming you have to be a Dead by Daylight main or predominantly stream Dead by Daylight, correct?
Exactly. So it's that they are looking for people who obviously are more positive, and because it's femme focused, right? They're trying to create a space for femmes and femme presenting individuals to have a safe space, because so much of it is male dominated. And so they obviously want people who are going to be a lot more positive and people who are a little active on social media, which makes a ton of sense. And maybe creating other content as well. And that's not necessary, but that's one of the things that they're looking at, because they obviously want to be reaching people and making it an accessible space. And so you have to have an active social media presence. Otherwise, you're not really connecting necessarily. And I don't think that's like a main criteria. I just know that's just one little piece of it.
And you said they do it in waves?
Yes. So it's sort of like I don't know if either of you work or have worked in the corporate world, but like quarterly, basically. So like they have their fourth wave, I think, coming up soon. So they do, each quarter, basically, they accept new femmes to the stream team. Because I think when they first did it, they got like, I don't even know how many applications. Like they were swarmed with them.
And I imagine because that's such a big community, Dead by Daylight, and
Yeah.
I mean I've only heard of Femmes of the Fog as a Dead by Daylight stream team. I've never seen any other or heard of any other Dead by Daylight stream team. So I'll say, like, if I was a Dead by Daylight main player, like, that sounds like the stream team like I would want to be on. So I'm sure like these like thousands of like femmes playing Dead by Daylight, they want to be a part of this. So I'm wondering, like, how many applications do you think that they take at a time? Do they announce like, hey, we got 500, we're only taking 15? Like, do you know if that's like that little?
I remember early on, I don't remember the exact number. I remember them saying like, hey, we got like X amount. And I remember it being a huge number. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, like Godspeed, bless your hearts. Good luck going through all of that. That's a lot of work. And now what they do is, I don't think they specify how many applications they get anymore, just because they're probably constantly rolling in. I have to assume there's always new people playing DBD. There's always new people discovering streamers and Femmes of the Fog. So I'm sure they're getting applications on the daily. But what they do, which I think is really, really sweet, and I think a lot of stream teams and communities do this, but they will basically say, all right, we're closed. We are, going to be announcing our new members soon. And then they do an individual post, like kind of in bulk, but it's an individual post per person. Or I think they started doing videos too, basically being like, here are the new members. And I can't remember how many have been added per quarter. It's changed a little bit, because obviously when they first did it, it was, I think, a larger group, and now it might be like 10 to 20 femmes. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I watched the last video that they did for the last rollout.
Do you think there's like, this is probably like the kind of team too that's, I was going to say, like, it's okay for it to be like a large quantity of people on a team, because sometimes you have like a stream team that you don't want it to get like overloaded and then nobody knows each other, can't get to, but a specific, that's not like for a specific game. This is for a specific game. So I imagine like the more people you have on the stream team, the better, because then you just have this wide, huge community of Dead by Daylight streamers that you could, reach out to do like collabs with and, hang out with. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
Everyone, Lexorcism, if there's any Femmes of the Fog, admins out there, Lexorcism is a great Dead by Daylight streamer, and you should choose her. We stand.
Oh, we stand. Thank you.
We stand. I am a mod for COs of Screams, and the last time we put out applications, we got over 224 hours. So we had to stop. It's because we said like, oh, we'll put this out for like, I don't know, what was like a week or something. And then after 24 hours, we had 200. We're like, stop! Please, wait, we made a mistake. This is great, but we made a mistake. We have no more. And it's like we really take the time to like look at everybody individually. Like, so for example, I'll get like, okay, my first wave, I'll have like 30 to look at, and I will go like onto your Twitch page. I'll watch some clips. If you're live, I'll just lurk in there and see like, how you interact with your chat and stuff like that. Like, it's really like, it's so much work to add new members. And I wonder, like, with Femmes of the Fog, like, besides from having besides from playing Dead by Daylight, like what else they look at. I'm not sure if you have any ideas, but I was curious about that too. It's like, okay, well, they know you're a Dead by Daylight streamer. Like, what else do they look at to consider you for their stream team if they're only choosing like 20 people out of like hundreds, you know?
I'm
I'm
sure
just
they're
so
doing it in the
curious.
same way that you are, because I know, like, one of
Mm-hmm.
the things is you do, or I don't think you have to be an affiliate. Um, I can pull up the application in a moment and double check. I don't think you have to be. I remember obviously having the option to select like whether you're an affiliate or a partner.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't look at following necessarily. Like I remember their first wave, some people were upset seeing like larger streamers being included. And I'm like, I think it's a little
Mm-hmm.
silly to be like, I get no one wants to be rejected. Nobody wants to feel like they weren't good enough to be chosen for something like that. But there were some people upset that some larger streamers were in there, but they also had streamers who had like 400 followers or 100 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like clearly following follower count doesn't matter. So they're probably looking at what are you like when you're live? How do you interact, whether it's with your followers or with people just coming in to say GGs, or how are you handling yourself? How do you carry
Yeah.
yourself? I'm sure it's
Yeah.
just as extensive.
And did I read recently that there is a new Dead by Daylight content creator program?
Yes, they launched it. God, I don't even know when this past year. I don't even know. I remember seeing people a couple months ago saying like, "Has anybody heard anything?" Because I applied for this like day of and still haven't heard anything, and I didn't apply for it. I think I might have qualified, because one of the requirements was like you need to have a minimum of like 10K followers on a social media platform. And my TikTok, from my years of posting DBD shit posts, I have 12,000. Do I ever post on there anymore? Barely, not really, no. But there was like something else where I was like, I don't know, I don't think I'm ready for something like that, and this just feels like a lot of people are going to be applying anyway, and I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
necessarily qualify and or are ready. I think people are finally starting to hear back on that. Um, but I feel like my algorithm also does not show me nearly enough DVD stuff, and maybe that's a blessing, as much as it is a curse, because again, the
Mm-hmm.
discourse is real and it's a lot of negativity and it's a lot of fighting sometimes. So I kind of also just try to stay out of the know. Um, but they did launch a creator program.
How do you feel about, like, because you just mentioned like, oh, I think I qualify because I have 10K followers on TikTok. How do you feel about like requirements like that for things that are just like, you know, a creator content program for a video game? Like, it's not like, I'm not saying like it's not a big deal, but it's not like you're applying for this and you're about to get like, you know, like a 20K bonus. You know what I mean? This is a
Yeah.
free thing that we're doing, right? How do you feel about having requirements such as like a certain viewer count, consistent count, viewers on TikTok, on Instagram, you know, followers, this? Do you think that some of these requirements are a little bit like ridiculous or a lot? I'm like, you're only asking for like, not saying that having a large following or having a large number of anything makes you better than anybody else, but to me, when I see something like that, I'm like, you're only looking for aesthetically what looks like the best of the best, and it makes me really upset. I get like salty because like I want and I'm still trying to get into the creator program for Quantum Dream, which is like Heavy Rain, Detroit Become Human, those like storytelling games that are my favorite, and I love them and I stream them, and I can't get in because I don't make like, you know, one of the requirements, which is like a certain like count on Twitch, like consistent viewer count, and I'm just like, what does the fucking matter? I stream your games. I
Yeah.
make clips of your game. Like I do. Like, what does that matter to you? Does that like, what do you think about that? Does that like like turn you off a bit when you see like you have to have like 10K on like your platforms or something like that?
I think it's such a double-edged sword, because on the one hand I'm like, I get it. You want to, if this is a program, I understand you want to have, you know, so you want to have certain requirements. I understand you don't want to just open it up to everybody, because then it's going to muddy things, and maybe it is harder for people to stand out because of that. But I think something like the creator program, specifically a minimum of 10K followers, and I don't know if they've updated it. I can pull it up in a minute just to make sure that's still one of their requirements. I think that's a little silly, because on the one hand, not that easy to reach that number of followers, I think, on any platform, whether it's
Mhm.
TikTok or Twitter. But also, just because somebody has that number of followers doesn't necessarily mean that the content they're putting out is good, or that they
Mhm.
necessarily deserve to be part of that program. It's like I just said, yeah, technically I met one of the requirements by numbers, but immediately I was like, but that doesn't mean anything to me personally. Yeah, I have that number, but it doesn't reflect in what I'm doing, what I'm posting. Like, I feel like that's almost cheating in a sense, because I'm like, I have it, but I'm not necessarily making content that is DBD focused and educational, or maybe what they're looking for to post on said platform. So you probably have other people who maybe also bought followers and now have 10K followers, but it's not genuine engagement, or they're not actually making content to put out there. So I think sometimes it can absolutely be egregious. And I don't think that's to say you can't have requirements. If you're trying to
Mhm.
create something, you can't just let everybody in. There are people who put in the work and have really climbed up that hill and deserve to be rewarded for it. But I just think that, like, something like the creator program, like a minimum of 10K is insane. I'm going to pull it up right now and see if that's still the requirement. Welcome to the Dead by Daylight creator program. Loading, loading, loading. Still loading, making me verify my age for the millionth time. I literally have a
I am
behavior
of
account.
age.
I am of age. Also, I could lie. All right. Yeah, because so for their creator benefits, it's you get free content. So you get early access to upcoming releases, exclusive in-game items, other stuff. You get community rewards, you get exclusive opportunities, and you can make your voice heard, which is a whole other aspect of DBD and behavior that I know is a hot topic right now, is them not listening to creators, or people feeling like they don't listen to creators. That said, I get it. You want to limit the number of people who are receiving that free content. You want to make sure that the people who are getting it are, I hate saying worthwhile. That feels like the wrong word. I can't think of a better word right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Here we go. Eligibility criteria: have 10,000 plus followers on at least one of the applicable platforms. Stream for at least 20 hours per month, and create 2 long form, 8-minute plus, or 8 short form, at least 3-minute long Dead by Daylight videos per month. Now, all of that reasonably can be done. But again, like, just because somebody has 10K followers and I think that number is kind of insane,
Mhm.
doesn't mean that they're actually putting out that content. And granted, if they're looking for that content, and I'm assuming
Mhm.
behavior probably is looking extensively at the content. If they look at something and they go, yeah, you're meeting those requirements, but the video you're putting out is half-assed, and not it's not really, whether it's educational or entertaining, they're not going to accept you even if you have 10K on all the platforms. But I do think 10K is a very steep number
Mhm.
to ask for, because I know there are content creators who have less than 1,000 who make really, really good content.
I think that if the Dead by Daylight creator program said, to enter, you have to take a video of yourself saying like why you would fit well in this program, like something like that. I think that it would show a lot more, because like you are extremely well spoken.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
you are a very well spoken individual, and the way that you talk about the things that you're passionate about is it's very like I'm in it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like I'm engaged with you right now. I'm engaged to you
Oh,
right
we're
now,
engaged.
like, um,
Not
so I
another
think that,
mom.
like, if
God
you were like,
damn it.
"Hey, another mom,
Three
Gabe's
moms.
another mom, 3 moms, so many moms." Um, I think that if they saw you do like, "Hey, I'm Lexorcist," and like you talked like for like a minute or so about like why you would fit into this program and like your love for this game, I think like you're like the type of person that they're looking for. And it's a shame that like if you didn't make like any requirements, that they wouldn't it would almost like you would get looked past, like they wouldn't even look at you. But you're so like dedicated to the game and you obviously love it, like you're absolutely the kind of person that they should have representing their program, their game, you know? So I think one day, I think it'll happen for you. I definitely, you're gonna get, here. This is what's happening. Where's my magic glitter pen? Here's my magic glitter pen. That's not a glitter pen. You're going to get Femmes of the Fog acceptance and acceptance into the Behavior Dead by Daylight creator program, and it's flick and swish.
Finally, a creator in the creator program I can trust.
I do wish they would like actually consider video submissions as opposed. And again, I do think there should be some eligibility requirements. But I do feel like it would be awesome if they did something like you said, like filming a video talking about why you love DBD and what you want to bring to the creator program, or just as a creator in general, and then maybe even submitting some examples as opposed to just filling out an application and hoping that they, extensively comb through. And I don't know what's going on at Behavior. I know that they have a process, and people, feel a certain way right now about Behavior in general and DBD in general. So I'm not trying to assume that they're not extensively looking at things. And again, I know people were saying they hadn't heard back on the program. A couple people,
like no one's heard back, or just
a
like
couple months
your
ago,
friends haven't heard back, or
not even friends. There were people who flat out said, like, I remember months ago saying like, oh, I still haven't like heard back anything, on the creator program. And now I'm scouring, I'm doing research as we speak. 15 hours ago. This is from Empire TV. I don't know who this is. This is just the first thing that's popping up on Twitter. Seeing that multiple people have been waiting for months regarding their applications to the DBD creator program, I think it's safe to say that anyone who currently holds Twitch shirted survivors should get a certain piece of exclusive content. So it sounds like there are people who applied months ago, and I think this was back in May that application started, who still haven't heard anything on their application. And I'm sure they got a lot of them, but I have yet to at least see, and I could be wrong, people might have been accepted and posted about it, and I just didn't see it. But there are people who it's crickets. They have no idea. So I don't know if anyone's even in the creator program at this point.
And what did you say before about something about like something like hear your voice, or and that's a whole nother issue with Behavior. What were you saying about that?
So some people are upset, feeling like Behavior's not listening to their bigger creators, like Otsdarva, for example. He's very vocal about when he's having issues with things that DBD's doing. He makes very extensive videos. He is like their main, like when people think DBD, they think Otsdarva. And I think recently too, they think Mish and they think Ghost Arcade. And a lot of these creators, they do voice their concerns and their issues with Behavior. And sometimes people feel as though Behavior's not listening to them or listening to the populace in general. And again, I think it's a double-edged sword, because someone like Otsdarva, who is so passionate and has been so involved and has done so much for this game, I do think he should be heard. Like there was it was the anniversary stream, or not the anniversary stream, it was the stream they did for Walking Dead, and they had the actor who played Carl on the stream, and he was going to be playing with Otsdarva and other streamers. And they ended up getting, I can't remember the term, and Max, I don't know if you know the term, or Allie, but basically somebody, like, people kept getting in the lobby that weren't supposed to be in the lobby. I can't think of the term.
It was like, they basically were like hacking into the lobby.
And so Otsdarva was like, hey, listen, if you let my friends in the lobby right now, this will stop it. Like, this is basically, he said, here's the solution to the problem you're having. And he invited his friends, or like his mods, like trusted people. These weren't just random people. These were trusted people into the lobby, and DBD booted them. Behavior booted them out. And they ended up not being able to play. The whole thing basically couldn't happen because they weren't willing to listen to what Otsdarva was saying. And even Carl's actor at one point said, because he was at Behavior headquarters doing this, and he said to one of the employees, he was like, so Ots is saying like this could work, like this could help, and they just completely brushed him off. So people were upset. They're like, you treated your guests disrespectfully. You didn't listen to your top creator who's done so much for you. So people are just feeling some type of way about behavior. And again, I know a lot of people work there. I don't necessarily agree with everything they do or everything they say. There are certain situations that I don't think they handle correctly, but I know it's not everybody's fault there. And sometimes I'm like, don't take it out on the social media people. You know damn well they don't have a say over anything that's going on. And obviously some of the complaints people have too are just complaints, and they don't really stem from anything valid, like especially when it's that, oh, you need to nerf this, or oh, you need to buff this, or you got to remove this killer from the game. I get it, there's a lot of nonsense, but it sucks when there are also valid concerns and criticism that feel like they're not addressed within a proper time frame, or the literal example of live in the moment disregarding your top creator who's trying to solve an issue because your own anti-cheat system isn't working.
Also, like, I'm actually, like, as you're saying it, I'm putting myself in that creator's shoes, because we all know, all three of us know, as streamers, our streams don't always go the way that we want. And when we're live trying to figure out how to fix the issue, it's like, okay, I can't think straight. I'm panicking, right? I'm
Yeah.
live. God forbid I have like people, a bunch of people in my, stream that I don't want to lose, and they're, they can't hear me because my thing is not working, my audio is not working, or the game is, making everything lag, or something's just broken. So him or her, I'm not sure who the streamer is, being live, being, I'm sure, tons of people watching with the celebrity, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that this streamer was shitting their pants already to begin with, and then this happens and they're being downright disrespected, and like, just being treated like trash, to you know from the people that that this person is spending all their time representing, this game, this company. like they don't know, like, they don't, the people at behavior, like, don't know what it's like to be live and have something so horrible like this happen, and you not being able to fix it, or your voice not being listened to. And
Oh yeah, Ox
I
looked
can't even
so
imagine.
devastated. He literally, you just see it in his face. Like the second they booted his mods
Mhm.
from it, immediately you see it. He looks disappointed, like frustrated and disappointed. He goes from trying
Mhm.
to be positive to just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, I'd be so sad. I feel like that's happened to me. I'm not sure, Max and Alex, if this has happened to you, where you go to like play a game, something like this. If something happens so bad that you're so disappointed, where you're like, I'm just gonna end stream. But there's nothing I can do. I'm also not gonna be happy for the rest of stream if I continue, because
Yeah.
I know for me, I cannot hide it. When I am unhappy playing a game, you can see it all over my face. I will stop right there and then, and I will not continue to play the game. Has that happened for both of you guys?
Once or twice, definitely.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I don't remember the
And like
game that it gave it to me that happened to me, but
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
it's definitely like happened recently where like I wanted to play a game. I played the game on stream and I was like, this game's giving me a headache and I know that I'm not going to like enjoy it if I keep going.
Mhm.
So I stopped there.
Mm.
I feel like, Max, that recently I saw that happen. Not as bad, but when you were playing the Lacerator, I think that was at one point you were just like, no more, or like the game that was
Yeah.
before the Lacerator.
Yeah, there was one part of it where I was just getting like stuck and then we were just like
Mhm.
going through the same thing again and I was like, "Okay. All right."
Yeah, I've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lex, there's this game called The Lacerator. It's very pixely, and
Mhm.
it starts off and it goes Max, and there's like meet Max, and Max is streaming it, and he's like, "That's me," and it goes, "The man that loves sex," and he's like, "Not me, not me."
You got the wrong guy.
You got the wrong Max. Oh my God, I fucking love it. I'm curious, because for me, I have experienced throughout these 4 years of Twitch, burnout many times. And for me, my burnout came from my first burnout came from the fact that I was a horror streamer who predominantly streamed indie horror games, and there started to become a lack of indie horror games, and not only that, a lack of good ones. So I'd go on, I'd stream, and I would enjoy nothing anymore, and it made me so, and I'm so visual that, like I said, like everyone could tell. Like you can tell when I'm not enjoying myself. And if I'm not, how could I expect anyone to want to be there and hang out with
Exactly.
me if
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying myself? And that was my like first real point of burnout. And that's when I was like, okay, what can I do now to make myself happy? Because you play Dead by Daylight, just Dead by Daylight, you do you experience burnout with Dead by Daylight, or burnout with streaming in general? And how do you kind of like handle burnout? What do you do for yourself to get yourself back and going and to be happy again streaming?
Yeah, so I would say for DBD specifically, since starting to stream, there have been moments where I'm like, okay, I've had enough of DBD. I'm ready for a break, and then I pivot to a story game because, like I said earlier, I did not grow up playing video games. So I'm like, let me play games that I didn't get to experience, um, when they came out, and try them out now. Or, when Phasmo had its big update earlier this year, I was like, wow, I haven't played in forever. Let's pivot to that, and ended up having a great time. And then I tend to come back when there's a new chapter for DBD, or, if a game mode returns, and that can tend to rejuvenate things. Or sometimes it's just, you know what, it's been a few weeks, let's get back into it. And if I'm not having fun, we pivot. And then as for streaming itself, I hit my first real burnout um on my 1 year anniversary. I did like my first like really long stream. Like it was the first time I ever did like I think it was 8 hours or more. It was my first time doing it. I had spent so much money getting like decorations, just trying to make it like fun for everybody and making it very involved. And afterward, it took me like a week to prep everything because I stream mostly in the evenings, or I was, because I work full time. And right now I'm on a brief leave from work, so I've been trying to stream in the morning instead, to try to take advantage of this time off that I have. But other than that, I'm doing it after work. And so already I'm usually pretty exhausted after work, and it's really hard for
Mhm.
me to sometimes just sit down and go live after a long day at work. And so I spent so many nights staying up late prepping for this really big stream, and it was a blast. But afterward I was like, I don't really feel like going live, and I felt bad. I just kind of like, after that, was kind of going downhill mentally. I was like, I'm burnt out from work because there was stuff going on around the same time. A lot was going on in my personal life. So it was that, coupled with I just spent a week staying up late every night, did this long stream, and now I just don't want to go live again. It feels like too much work. I'm exhausted. And I ended up pushing through it, but it still happens from time to time, kind of in spurts. It's like nothing will even really trigger it. It's just like, wow, I just don't feel like doing it. Or sometimes it is imposter syndrome, and it's so hard to just break out of that mindset, especially when there's other stuff going on. And it's like, the last thing I want to worry about is my stream, because there's other stuff going on. But at the same time, I love this thing and I don't want to let people down. So I feel like it's complicated.
Tell me about imposter syndrome. Do you feel like when you have to, like you're feeling some sort of way, like, oh, you're tired or you're cranky for the day, you're like, all right, I have to go stream. Let me put on this kind of fake face and let me go do that. Is that what you mean by like imposter syndrome? Because I hear that term a lot, and I feel like it's different for everybody. So how do you define imposter syndrome for yourself?
For me, it's more about, I don't necessarily feel like a real streamer or a real content creator. And I am someone who will turn around to somebody else and say, comparison is the thief of joy. Shut up, you're doing great. But when it's myself, it's like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't do all the things you see these other streamers do. And when you try, you don't commit to them. And, you're using your personal life as an excuse to not do it. And it's, my fiance says all the time, he's like, you don't give yourself enough credit. You're really mean to yourself. You're really down to yourself. And I'm like, well, that's why we're in therapy, and why we've been in therapy, and we're working on it. But no, nothing's going to change overnight. So it really is more of just feeling like I am faking it. Like, again, not being real necessarily.
You and I are very similar in that way, because I didn't play video games growing up. I only started playing video games when I started on Twitch, and I started playing games on Twitch because I wanted to make friends. And I also feel like I'm not a real gamer. I always have that, like, that's kind of your imposter syndrome is kind of like the definition of mine too, in a way. That actually for me led to a very funny kind of like meme that went around with my community, because about I'm gonna say like 2 years ago, I would say out loud all the time, like, I'm not a real gamer, and I had a joke that was like, oh, I'll be a real gamer when I like platinum my favorite game and get all the trophies. Like, I would never fucking do that. And then I found a game that I really truly loved, and I loved to replay it over and over again. And I'm like, this is it, guys. This is when I become a real gamer. I'm going to get all the trophies in this game. And then that actually led to not a rebrand of my channel, but it shifted to I found what made me really happy, and that was to play these like story choose your own adventure games and go in and like get all the trophies, replay them, get every scenario, like be like an achievement hunter with these games. So like I totally feel you on that. Feeling like, oh, I'm not a real gamer, I feel like this, I
Yeah.
feel like that. Which is endearing to hear, because you're the first person who I feel like, oh, like me too, like I
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like it's kind of nice to relate to that too. um so you only played like the like Mario games and stuff, you said, right, like growing up?
Oh yeah, did not have a console. Like I always was interested in that stuff, but like,
Mm-hmm.
it was just me and my sister. So I didn't have like an older brother who I could play games with. Like I had a neighbor, but we never really played like video games. I think we were a little too young at the time to like play video games and stuff like that. It was mostly like literally playing outside and playing pretend. And then I also grew up doing dance and musical theater, so I wasn't necessarily around people who were playing video games again
Mm-hmm.
outside of like in between dance classes when we're waiting we're playing Nintendogs like or like we're playing Super Mario Brothers. Like that was really the only gaming experience that I had. But then as I got older I was like, man, I really want to play the Batman Arkham games. Like, mom, will you please
Mm-hmm.
get me like this really old Xbox 360 for Christmas, please and thank you. um so it was just a matter of I always was interested in these things but didn't have the means or the opportunity to actually get involved.
As a Freddy Krueger fan, did you go crazy when you heard that there was going to be a Freddy Krueger DLC, or were you already, did you go into playing Dead by Daylight and the Freddy Krueger DLC was already there?
It was already there, and when I saw it was the remake, I was like, "The fuck? Why did we do the remake? What the hell?" And then the more I thought about it, and also after getting some information and getting more involved in the DVD sphere, because it's DVD is not beginner friendly, both in terms of the game and the community and just the world of DVD. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? It was early on. They had gotten Halloween as a license, but it's like there's a lot of issues happening with Nightmare in general as a franchise when it comes to licensing and the rights. And so I think the only option for them was the remake. And given that it was still earlier on in DBD's lifespan, they probably didn't know how much longer they had. And it's like, we got to jump on this IP right now. We don't know if we'll get the opportunity again. I do think because there's been a lot of Nightmare talk this year. It's like really ramped up in the last 6 months, and that's not just me saying it because I follow a lot of people who enjoy the franchise. I'm seeing people who aren't even massive Nightmare fans talking about it, and Robert Englund has been interviewed more because he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he said he's interested in voicing Freddy in a video game or something. People want to have the original license in DVD, and I think if they figure out the licensing issues, especially because Warner Brothers is up for an acquisition, a lot of like I think Paramount's looking to buy them. And Blumhouse is interested in acquiring the rights to A Nightmare on Elm Street, and they're already working with Behavior on a DVD movie. So I'm like, I see an opportunity for it to enter the game. I just think at the time it was, we don't know if we'll get another opportunity for a license this big. We will take what Warner Brothers is allowing us to use. And that unfortunately was the remake. But he's still one of my favorite killers in the game, and I still love him. And anytime I get him in a game, I get so happy because it's a rarity.
I'm giggling in my head thinking about, because you just said they were thinking about a movie, and I'm like, what could they do with a movie? Then I'm thinking about, like, would they make it kind of like casting a Frank Stone? Like, would that be like a DVD movie? But then think about this: a serious as fuck movie, da da da, and they're like, oh shit, a generator. Shh. like, are we gonna have random generators? That's what I want in a Dead by Daylight movie. Please give me corniness and give me just like just one generator. I just want one.
They would show a generator and the audience would erupt into applause the way they did during Endgame. Avengers Endgame, when everybody comes out of the portals, everyone would lose their fucking minds. They'd be like, oh my god, a pallet. Oh my god, it's Dwight from Dead by Daylight. Like, I have no idea. I literally don't know, because Dead by Daylight, it has very interesting lore, and Blumhouse does have the rights to Halloween now, so Michael Myers could absolutely make an appearance, but I don't know. Obviously, Freddy wouldn't be able to unless Blumhouse acquired the rights, and it's like, what other IPs could or couldn't? Do they steer away from IPs entirely and just focus on their original characters and the entity and the lore that they have been building up? I have no idea what to expect from this movie. I have no idea what's even going on with it. I haven't heard anything about it in recent, but I'm still curious to see what it's going to be.
Did you play casting of Frank Stone?
I did. I thought it was all right. I liked the story a lot, and I did like the characters, and I just wish they had kind of done more with it. I feel like I don't understand why they didn't put Frank Stone in the game. I feel like if they released that and then added him to the game, and, you know, some of the characters are one of the characters and then had skins for the others. I don't know. I just feel like you have this story that fits into your own lore. It's a kind of, and they literally reference DBD at the end. You literally see the fog and the campfire, but you're not going to add them into your own game. I feel like that would excite people a little more. And even the people who haven't played it yet would be like, oh, Frank Stone, other game, let's check it out. You know what I mean?
Not only do you see the campfire, but like this part, I found it a little bit silly, but like not anything. But like you see like the silhouettes of like Meg and Dwight or whatever, and I'm just like, that's really corny, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like I'm
okay with this. Like I'm in. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm in. That's
commit.
fine.
They didn't commit.
They were so close. Mm-hmm. So I was those kind of games are my jam. The Quarry, Until Dawn, Slay the Princess, like those are all that's my shit. So when they came out with Frank Stone and it's that kind of game, I'm like, holy crap! And it's Dead by Daylight, cool. But I'm like, this is not going to be good. This is going to be really bad. I was like, I'm liking this. I'm like, this is pretty good. I agree with you as like, hey, it could have gotten a bit more. They could have done a bit more with it. I thought that like they played it a little bit safe.
Oh yeah.
Maybe they thought it was going to be bad and they were just like, let's not make it more bad, but it was actually good and they could have made it more good. I thought that if people went into this game and didn't know any Dead by Daylight lore, it would be a little silly. You know what I mean? Especially with like the generator stuff. That cracks me up.
It was so funny.
It's the funniest shit ever.
It's like, generator.
He's like, oh, we're running for our lives. You know, this guy did it.
Generator.
I'm just
they had to throw it in.
They had to, but you know what? I'm into it. I'm here for it. Just like Meg Silhouette, I'm down for Meg Silhouette. It wasn't too much Meg Silhouette. It was just a hey, if you know, you know. You know, it wasn't her. It wasn't her full thing. I like at some points because I played it a couple times, and I actually think it's going to. I try to sometimes I do like each month I'll try to get the platinum trophy of like one of those types of games. I think I'm gonna go in and do Frank Stone in January because I like how like they have like the different endings. Like that one ending, you're like in the dude's like body and you're just like walking around like right at the end. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I'm like, oh, I love that. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
Me too.
Frank
I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm intrigued, and I do feel like they played it a little too safe.
I'm down for another one. Behavior. It was Behavior that made that, or did they partner up with a different company to make that?
I thought they partnered up, but also I get my information wrong like all the time.
Isn't it a super massive game?
Is it?
Was it a super massive game?
I think it was.
Yeah, did they work with
that?
them?
Makes sense.
I think it was like a Behavior super massive game.
I'm on the website.
Super massive Behavior.
Yep.
Good
it
job,
was.
Allie.
That makes sense. That makes sense of why it's,
I don't know what to say to you sometimes, Allie.
What do you mean? Super massive Behavior. It just makes sense, right?
It sounds like a TLC show. Like
Supermassive Behavior. Yeah, it's like everything's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love supermassive games.
Oh, yeah.
What are some Spooky? It's so funny because as the podcast is going on, you're turning more and more green, and I'm just watching you turn into the Lexorcist. Yeah. This is it. This is the transition. This is the fully. You're gonna be your final form is gonna be at the end of this podcast. I love it. So you have like some dark picture anthology games. Supermassive does The Quarry. They also do Until Dawn. They're coming out with Directive 2080. What's your favorite Supermassive game, or a favorite kind of like those storybook games that we were talking about before?
I know that objectively Until Dawn is better, but I think I like The Quarry more. And I did play The Quarry, not on stream, but in general, before I played Until Dawn. I played Until Dawn for the first time on stream. But there's just something I really love about The Quarry, although I could see afterwards some of the people being like, I don't know, this felt like it was just like redoing this aspect from Until Dawn. And just in case anybody's never played, I'm not going to spoil the monster in The Quarry, but I heard people comparing the two. And I was like, okay, yeah, design-wise, I can see that. But like all in all, I really enjoy The Quarry. And I've been debating playing it on stream soon just because I was like, I want to play again. I like it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you should play again. You should play over and over and over again because that's actually the first game that I platinumed. That was my absolute favorite game. I hate the comparison between The Quarry and Until Dawn because they have nothing to do with each other. The monsters are a little bit similar in species, but like they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Yeah. I think for me, and this might be like maybe a little bit of reason for you too, because you seem like a 1980s horror girly. The Quarry felt like a 1980s horror movie. Absolutely. It felt like kids in the woods, teenagers doing things they're not supposed to do. There was like 3 Evil Dead references, and Evil Dead is my shit. So many references. I mean, you also have like Ted Raimi playing the fucking officer.
Louis from Scream. You literally have David Arquette. You have Lynn fucking Shay. I mean, like, it's stacked cast. Brenda Song. What more do I need to say? I love Brenda Song.
She's great.
She's so great.
So good.
What's your favorite Brenda Song? I was gonna say Brenda song, but you know what I mean. Like, what do you like her best in, Max?
I mean, The Quarry.
I wasn't sure if you like knew any of her. Like,
I mean, I know she was on like the Disney Channel for a while, but I never watched any of the shows that she was in. And also, I've seen like clips of the shows, and I don't like her characters in those shows personally.
Oh, I love London Tipton.
I mean, I'm not saying she's like a bad character. I just don't like that trope personally.
I like that they subverted it because Ashley Tisdale was originally going to be London Tipton, which is just your stereotypical ditzy blonde, and then you would have your stereotypical smart Asian woman, and they flipped it on its head, but you also see her have growth. But she also just her comedic timing is just 10 out of 10, especially her with Mr. Mosby. Like, we all know the Prindle scene.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
still call it the Prindle, even though it's not a Prindle anymore, you know?
What's a Prindle?
In your car, like park, reverse, neutral, drive. He was trying to teach her how to drive, and he was like, "Do you know what this is?" And she was like, "Yeah, the Prindle."
Oh, I love that. The Prindle.
The Prindle.
That's so cute. I love that.
Yeah.
I call you know, like in Until Dawn when you have to do like the WASD, like the quick time events. I call that WASTA. And I'm like, WASTA. And I'm just like, when it's about to happen. So I cannot WASTA without yelling out like the W or the A or the. So like when I know like a WASTA is about to come up, I'll be like, WASTA, WASTA. So everyone knows I have to pay attention. Then I'm like, W, D, D. I have to yell them out in order for me to make the quick time event.
Have you ever watched What We Do in the Shadows, that show? At all?
Jackie Daytona, just a normal human man.
That makes me think of how Laszlo has to yell out "bat" every time he turns into a bat. Bat.
That's my noise when I'm drunk. I'm just like bat. I'm just yelling at bat. New York City. I fucking love What We Do in the Shadows.
So good.
The show better than the movie too. I think
I like both, but the show's absolutely better. I don't like how it ended though. The ending, the last season definitely wasn't stupendous.
It wasn't at all. It didn't make me. I was like, oh, okay, it's over, I guess.
Yeah,
that was sad. I was like, fuck, damn it. Did you like that show, Max? Did you ever watch it?
I don't know what this is.
Okay, change it. Change it.
So picture this, right?
Okay.
Picture this. The Office style, right, of filming. Vampires that live in a house in Staten Island.
Okay.
And it's their like everyday lives. There's one of them that's like played by Matt Berry that sounds like the voice of the Smitten. You hear that?
Okay, I see.
She thinks we're dashing. Like that guy. He's one of them. You have like a really hot like goth chick. You have this
my favorite
like
sold.
Naja. Super hot. You have like this guy named Colin Robinson who's an energy vampire.
Colin Robinson.
So he just kind of like talks like this, and the weather's nice outside.
Wow,
and then as he's exactly, he talks in lowercase. 100%. Oh my God, Max is an energy vampire.
No. That's no. Colin Robinson is that guy you work with who doesn't seem to pick up on social cues, and not in the kind of way where you're like, oh, I feel bad they're not picking up. It's just like, I'm pretty sure he's actively ignoring them on purpose and just yapping to yap. And he understands that you don't want to be talking to him anymore, but he's going to keep talking regardless about really mundane stuff until you feel like you're going to fall asleep. That is Colin Robinson. Like pretending like he doesn't know he's being an asshole, but is intentionally being an asshole.
But that's how he feeds.
Yeah.
He makes people, he like drains them of their energy. He's like a Dragon Ball Z villain.
I mean, I don't get social cues because I have autism.
That's different. Colin Robinson does not. Colin Robinson's just a dick.
Fair.
That's why I came to your defense immediately. I'm like, no, very different.
I was going to say, that was real quick.
You're like, no! Slap you in the hand. You're like, no, bad Allison, down. Let me tell you why. He spray water on me. I'm like, like a cat. I just react.
Yeah. Down, bad.
We must protect the ginger.
Yeah, we must protect the ginger at all costs. Oh God, there was a lot of bibbity bob. Oh my God, do you have any? There's no oi in pizza language. There's no oi. Max does this to me, Spooky. He does this to me all the time because he knows it just, the oi is just, it's just not correct.
No.
We don't say oi. We say hey.
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 I can do it in every other context, but when I try to do my New York accent impression, I always do the oi for no reason.
What words in Boston do you say that you could recognize your Boston accent if you have one?
I feel like I don't have one, but I feel like it's sometimes when I'm talking to the cat, is chat will be like, oh my, like it's slipping out a bit, or they'll like type it. Like I think I said like,
oh, the chat. I thought you said the cat.
oh
It
no,
slips out when you talk.
she's chatty, but like I'll talk to her usually, and I hit her with like a what's the matter? Like what do you want? And it's like I can't fake it. It's like it happens like in the moment. Like usually when I'm talking to her, it starts to slip out. So like I can't fake it because then it sounds forced. But then as soon as like I start having a literal conversation with my cat, it slips out, and they literally just type. They'll be like, "What's the matter? What's the matter?
What's the matter? What's the matter me? What's the matter you?
Yeah, what's the matter?"
What's the
Maki Mak, you know.
matter?
like
Maki, you wicked pisser.
Wicked pissed. I literally love quoting the fucking SNL fake Duncan ad with Donnie Wahlberg, I think it is. Oh no, it's Casey Affleck. It's Casey Affleck, and it's just like him being a shitbag hanging inside of a Duncan, and it's just so real. It's if you've never seen it, you got to look it up. It's painfully accurate.
Are you ever? So I love being around people who you recognize how painfully accurate that Boston ad for Dunkin' is. I had a moment recently that was so funny to me where I went to Salem, Massachusetts the weekend before Halloween, and I took a bookbinding class. And about a half an hour, it was so fun. And about a half an hour into it, a mother and a daughter had to be 17 or 18. They came to the class and they came in with a bang. Like the mom was just like, hello, we're here. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're late. It was a lot of traffic. We're here. Jesse, sit next to me. Jesse, sit next to me. So I'm just listening and I'm like, so my pepperoni senses are going off. So I'm like, So I'm hoping they talk more, which they do. So they're doing their thing. The daughter's obviously embarrassed by the mother, and she's trying to get the things through the hole, and the lady and she's like, Jesse, I need help. And then I guess Jessie, her daughter, is just like, ask Celia. That's her name. Ask Celia for help. The instructor. Celia, why can't I get this through the hole? And the lady's like, you can make the hole bigger by using this instrument to do, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, okay. See, Jesse, this is what you do to make the hole bigger. And her daughter's and she's sitting right next to me. So I'm just like, I need to know more. I'm almost there. So I need an excuse to talk to Jesse. So Jesse and I, we start we're doing that like we're both kind of just giggling a little bit. I don't know why I'm making that fucking face. So I say to her, I'm sorry, Max.
I think if anyone ever did that to me, I'd think I'd absolutely leave.
I know, I'd be like, I don't
like the vibes coming from this side of the table.
Me too. I'd leave as well. And I say, you guys remind me of my mom and me. And she's like, yeah, it's been a long day, been a long trip. And I was like, oh, where are you guys coming from? I'm like, this is it. And she goes, this is the moment. And she knew that she didn't want to say it because it was just so on the nose. She goes, New York.
She's like, do you even need me to answer that?
Yeah. So I'm just so in my head, I'm like, me too. Where from? Because I could tell that it has to be somewhere close to New York. And she goes, Queens. And I'm like, you have the same fucking diphthong as me. I'm like, I
Oh my
knew it.
God.
I'm just like, I fucking knew. They talk just like they talk, they walk, they coffee, the dogs, they sound just like that. I was like, I need to know more. I need to get in. Oh my God, so typical. She's like, New York. Like, of course we are. We're loud. We're obnoxious. We're talking loudly about holes. Like, only fucking New York people do this. I swear to God, talk about holes loudly in front of strangers, not giving a shit. Like, that is it. What's really funny right now is that the way you look on this camera, Spooky, is not the way you look on Twitch right now.
I know, and
need
it's
to take a
driving me
picture
nuts.
of this.
It's driving me nuts because I don't know why.
Do you see this?
I do, and it's driving me freaking nuts. I was having issues before we even started. Max had to witness it, unfortunately. I felt bad.
This is transformation. You ever see the movie Color Out of Space?
No.
With Nick Cage? Well,
I've heard of it.
Color Out of Spacing.
Oh no. I don't think that's good.
No, I like it. One of your eyes is like turning into like that Marilyn Manson white eye. And what? I'm super digging it. It's just been transforming this entire time. And I'm like, my gosh. I'm watching Spooky just turn into the spooky universe.
Spooky just turns into the Mechanical Animals album.
It's not as like I don't know why it's like not as focused. Like it also is like completely flipped because normally I just have it like as if you're looking at me in real life. That way, like when I raise my right hand, you see me raise my right hand. It doesn't look like my left hand. Like you can actually read the text. Can't get it flipped here. It looks shittier than when I stream. I gave up. I just wanted to make sure it was working. And so I just gave up as soon as Max could see me. I was like, I'm done. I can't keep playing with this.
Do you think they'll ever make another Freddy movie?
I do. I think especially if Blumhouse acquires the rights, they will not hesitate. And I feel I'm so torn because on the one hand, I need Jason Blum to shut the fuck up. But on the other hand, I'm like, as long as he got the right director, which Mike Flanagan is interested, but also Chuck Russell, who directed Dream Warriors, has said he would like to direct another Nightmare movie. I think it's a devil's advocate thing where I'm like, if they at least get the right person and they're the ones funding it, I know they'll make it happen. Hopefully it's good if they make it happen, but I can see them making Freddy. And I hate saying relevant again, but he really hasn't been relevant. It's a fact. He has not been relevant outside of like the anniversaries and then recently Robert getting his star. But there's been so much talk of Freddy in the last 6 months where I'm like, if they figure out this Warner Brothers acquisition, if they figure out who's purchasing Warner Brothers, and if somebody is able to acquire the rights and both the Craven estate and Warner Brothers figure out shit with the licensing, because the Craven estate owns some stuff. Robert owns his own likeness, which wouldn't be a problem if they end up doing something animated, because he obviously has expressed interest in that. But then Warner Brothers obviously has stuff and Craven Estate has stuff. So I feel like if they get the casting right, which I saw someone say Jim Carrey for Freddy, and I'm like, immediate no. I'm sorry, absolutely not. Someone did say Tim Robinson, and I was like, low key, I could see him crushing it. He would make me so uncomfortable, and I think that would work.
Wait. Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave?
Yep, somebody.
No, as Freddy? How the fuck would that work?
I could see
telling me everything.
I feel like he is so good at playing like think about, the Calico Cut Pants skit. How at the end he gets really ominous and he's like, a lot of people give, and he like walks off into a room that's just bright red and full of smoke, and it gets so ominous. I feel like he would be good at like toning himself down, and like he also clearly is a fan because of the driver's ed skit where it's the girl talking about her tables and she's like, I just got screamed at by Freddy Krueger. Like for some reason he references Freddy a lot. I'm like, I could get behind that casting. I feel like he would be able to tone himself down and play someone genuinely scary and unhinged, because horror and comedy go hand in hand. So I could see it. but there's also other castings that I think could work. I don't have any castings off the top of my head that I think would work, but I hate when I see people say Robert is the only person who can ever play him, and that's why the remake didn't work. The remake didn't work for a plethora of reasons. But there are so many fan films where actors play Freddy, and they do a phenomenal fucking job. I've seen them play Human Freddy. I've seen them play Demon Freddy. And it's so obvious to me that you just need someone who's willing to commit to the role the way Robert did. And maybe make it their own, but also just bring a lot of heart to the character, which sounds wrong when you're talking about a character as sinister as Freddy, but you need to actually go into it wanting to play that character and be willing to go all the way and find the right balance and the right tone. I truly think it's possible. I don't think we need Robert. He's always going to be Freddy. He's always going to be the best Freddy. I think it's criminal when people say it's not going to work without him, because he himself believes it can work without him, because he has so much respect for filmmaking and other actors. He is just a man of class. If I don't get to meet him before he leaves this earth one day, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Let me tell you.
You said that the remake had a plethora of problems.
Oh yeah.
Was one of those problems, because this was my problem, one of my many problems, was one of your problems the fact that they made you feel sympathy towards Freddy Krueger?
I didn't mind it except for the fact that they couldn't commit. Because John Saxon, when they were doing A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, John Saxon and Robert Englund also wrote their own potential scripts. Robert's idea was actually used for the pilot of Freddy's Nightmares. Some of his ideas were integrated into that script. John Saxon's idea was that Freddy was actually innocent and he was framed, and that's why he went after the kids. Now, obviously, that was never the intent. Wes Craven wanted Freddy to be just the nastiest thing he could think of, and he was like, what's the worst thing you can be in the world? Somebody who goes after kids. So the idea of him being innocent would have been fresh. It would have been unique. And I hated the fact that they didn't commit, and the fact that they tried to play it off like a twist of first you think, oh, he was innocent, and then actually, no, surprise, he actually is terrible and awful, and he's everything that you thought he was going to be. And it's like, listen, either you commit to this new idea or you don't.
Mhm.
Like, don't tease it. And I think beyond that, it's, you had a script that couldn't commit to trying new ideas, and some of the new ideas they had were great. The micronaps. So one of my biggest complaints about the Nightmare franchise is they never played with daydreams enough. Even in Nightmare 4, where your main character for the first half of the movie, she talks about she's daydreaming, you see her daydreaming, and yet they don't commit to that. Like, I always was annoyed. I'm like, this is my favorite one, right? I like it because it's super 80s goodness. It's very campy and colorful, but
Mhm.
you have her explicitly state that she's falling asleep to have these dreams. Then why the fuck did we set up the daydreaming arc in the beginning? Commit or don't commit. Don't tease me. But so the micro naps, I'm like, I love that. I love the idea, and I wish they had done more with that. But then you have a not so great set, why am I blanking on her name? She played
Mara
Nancy.
Rooney?
Thank you. I just had the biggest brain fart. Mara Rooney had a terrible time on set and almost quit acting because of it, and you can see it in her
Why?
performance. Let me see if I can find the exact details. But she had a bad time on set. It was not a good set for her at all.
Her
She also
performance was dull. I thought that was kind of almost like the point of it, because that actress does play those kind of melancholy dull parts.
and she's a good actress too. Because I've never seen Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but I know she
Mhm.
did really well in that. Um,
Mhm.
so here's a quote from her. She said, I have to be careful with what I say and how I talk about it. It wasn't the best experience making it, and I kind of got to this place that I still live in that I don't want to act unless I'm doing stuff that I feel like I have to do. So after making that film, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, I kind of decided, okay, I'm just not going to act anymore unless it's something that I feel that way about. So she didn't necessarily get into why it was a bad experience, but clearly the set wasn't the best for your main actress. And Jackie Earle Haley didn't even watch the original movie until the day before they started filming, and he didn't even like it. So you have somebody who thought the original was bad to begin with, hadn't even seen it before, and now you want them to play the linchpin of your entire film. And I just think that's a recipe for disaster. It's like you had a bad script, you had an actress who was having a terrible time, an actor who did a fine job. I actually don't really have many complaints about his performance. I think he did the best he could with the script. And there were moments that felt really Freddy to me. But the fact that he didn't even appreciate the original right off the bat, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think you can play a character if you don't appreciate the character in the original to begin with.
That's also really bad on the director's part. Like, why are you casting somebody who doesn't like the original source material? Like, if they went to go ask this guy, like, "Hey, we want you to play Freddy," and he's just like, "Who?" Like, I wouldn't want. It's so such an iconic character. Like, don't you want your movie to go down as this is like the first remake? Like, don't you want this to have not the reputation of most remakes, which is shitty? Don't you want this to be good? Why would you cast somebody who you're already not casting, Robert England, which is like, whatever. He does not need to be, like you said, the Freddy forever. He'll always be the best Freddy. But, this guy is the first not Freddy. So you already have that on your back, right?
Yep.
This movie better be fucking 10 out of 10.
And it was
unfortunately, it was not. I wasn't a fan of it. There was one part that I did enjoy. Enjoy is a strong word. It just makes me I still think about it, and it's when he killed one of the kids, and then it shows them almost like inside the kid's mind, and then Freddy said something like, that the brain still has X amount of activity. Well, that creeped me out because that person is like externally dead, and this is like their in mind like stuff that they're about
and they
to get
still
tortured.
have to deal with it for like 7 minutes. Like that is it was so good.
That part got me. I like that.
I'm right there with you. And one of the things I said, and I'm like, if I had been in charge, it would have been handled very differently because I would have pulled an original Wes Craven in that I would have killed Nancy off in the beginning instead of Chris. I would have had you think that it's going to be a focus on Nancy again because the original Nancy, I don't think gets talked about enough. And I'm not talking Dream Warriors. And that's actually one of the issues I have with Dream Warriors is how they handle Nancy. She is so sassy. She is like, she does not hesitate to speak her mind. She's not afraid to swear and curse at people. Like she's not just some innocent babe. She's very visibly scared, but she fights back. She has personality. New Nancy, not so much. And again, I feel for Mara that she had a horrible time. I don't blame her for giving the performance she did if she wasn't enjoying herself. I would have killed Nancy off and I would have made Quentin the main character to just subvert everybody's expectations and then either commit to him being innocent or double down on him being disgusting and just the worst human being imaginable,
So if we're going to have a new Freddy movie, let's say, a new Freddy movie, a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie with a new Freddy Krueger, as a fan of Freddy myself, I don't want to see another origin story. I don't want to see the same movie as the last movie. As for you, as like the Freddy Krueger aficionado, what is your fantasy booking for the next Freddy movie? Not even actors, just plot wise. What would you like to see, and how can they make a new version of Nightmare on Elm Street interesting and good for people like us who are such big fans of the 1980s franchise?
I think it's so funny because one of the complaints I see about just slashers in general and why it's hard for people to be afraid of them is because it used to be you didn't have cell phones and you didn't have to necessarily write a reason for the cell phones not working or why these characters are stranded. It's harder to buy into stuff like that happening in the modern day. None of that matters when it's nightmare related. And there's an old idea that had been thrown out there specifically for Freddy versus Jason, I believe, where the idea was that the teens know about Freddy, but they aren't scared of him anymore. And what is more Gen Z and Gen Alpha than the idea of teens purposefully not taking their Hypnosil, going out of their way to go into the dream world and antagonize him? That is the most Gen Z thing I can think of, is them going out of their way. And because they're not afraid of him, he's weaker. And then imagine he accidentally hurts one and they're like, fuck, okay, now there's a little bit of fear, and he takes that little bit of fear, ends up getting able to kill somebody. boom, more fear. Now they instead of just letting him lie and leaving him to rot in the dream world, they went out of their way. They poked the bear. They are their own undoing. And so now it's basically he's getting stronger throughout the movie. And you could actually have a cameo with Robert at the beginning with Freddy looking older and decrepit, but the stronger he gets, you bring in the new actor because now he's looking younger. He's getting more powerful. He's getting the souls again. And like I have obviously my own like plot in mind, my own like fanfic, if you will, in my mind of like this new movie. And I love killing off main characters. I think if your story cannot continue, if it relies solely on a single character, it's not a very strong story. And I just love the idea of you have this character that you are following throughout the movie, and maybe there's a new kid in town. And that's how this starts. They want to show this new kid, hey, you want to see something really fucking cool? Like you've got these rebellious teens, and it's the new kid who's scared. So it's kind of like, boom, there's the obsession. There's who you think the final girl is this new girl. And then like halfway through or even later in the film, he kills her. And it's like this other random teen who you thought was just a side character or like the best friend character that you thought was going to get killed off. Boom, new girl, your final girl just got killed off. And it's this girl who's been going out of her way to antagonize him the whole time, who basically is the reason all of this started, who now has to defeat him. And then if I was setting up for sequel bait, I would end the movie with this girl now being in a coma and him purposely keeping her in a coma because he could kill her, but where's the fun in that? Like, you kept antagonizing me, I'm keeping you here, and I'm antagonizing you, and that sets up the sequel bait. Or the movie really could just end there, and it's like, for once, the villain wins. You don't have to have him die to then immediately have like, oh, look, he's still alive in the end. And you don't have to explain why he's still alive. Fear never stops. Fear just takes new forms. And something like nightmares is going to be universal. You can't rely on your cell phones to save you. You can't distract yourself with drugs. If you are caught in a dream, you're caught in a dream. There's nothing you can do. You are at the whim of the dream and of your fears. And the whole point of Freddy is he is, there's a quote that Robert had. And I've been writing an essay or like a series of essays about the franchise as a whole. And there's one quote from Robert that he said specifically about Freddy. And I'm scrolling to find it now. Jesus Christ, where is it? Okay, here we go. In a sense, Freddy stands for the worst of parenthood and adulthood. The dirty old man, the nasty father, and the adult who wants children to die rather than help them prosper. He's the boogeyman and the worst fear of children, the adult that's out to get them. He's a very primal figure, sort of like Kronos devouring his children. That evil, twisted, perverted father figure that wants to destroy and is able to get them at their most vulnerable moment, which is when they're asleep. Wes said that, not Robert. I was incorrect. And I feel like the younger generations always assume adults are out to get them and that the adults are the antagonists. And so I just think it works. I think it works regardless of decade and regardless of age. And you don't need to write why their cell phones suddenly aren't working and why they can't call for help. I just feel like there's so much that can be done with this franchise. It just needs to be done right.
And your description of what you just said, like how you want your fantasy booking of how you want the next movie to be, what you want it to look like, what the plot is, the ending, you have that in mind, like with a Mike Flanagan directing view, like that is like the perfect, like that would work so simpatico with each other, because Mike Flanagan makes such, like, you feel the dread.
Yeah.
In any movie that he does, even like the Hell House. I just rewatched like Dr. Sleep. Like
I love Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep is so fucking good. You really, it's a tone. He has that, it's just a thing you feel, this is a Mike Flanagan movie, just like this is a Sam Raimi
Exactly.
a Sam Raimi movie. Like it just, and what you're describing is very Mike Flanagan, very, very heavy, very scary, and no humor almost like whatsoever, which Freddy to me very much started out as almost like a humorous character. Even like and there's other factors that go along with that, being for like a 1980s movie, right? He jumps out of the house and chases Nancy in a full, big ass fire, what
Yes.
suit that, like there's funniness in it, right? But
Yeah.
what you're describing is like a fucking like a scary movie. And I want to see that movie. Like
And
I
don't get me
want to
wrong,
see that movie.
he'd still crack jokes. But I feel like I would want it to kind of go back to the balance of like 2 and 3, where he's cracking, like he's only cracking jokes because he's having a good time and they are at your expense. He's not doing full on bits like he is in, part 5, because he's doing bits in part 4, but you really see him doing those bits in part 5, which is one of the biggest issues that is just in that film, is Freddy himself,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But like you see part 4 is like the peak of his power, both in the real world in the sense of like Nightmare was at its peak in 1988. But Freddy, within the context of the movies, he's been killing for years now. He's been collecting all these souls. At that point, he's just dicking around. He's just having fun. He's not trying to be scary anymore. He kind of already is. And especially if you take the show into account, he's kind of just got control at this point over Springwood and everything. But you could see this gradual progression where he starts off again weaker and maybe more serious, and he's angry at how he's been treated and how these kids are laughing at him and going out of their way to show him that they're not scared, and so he's purposefully being scarier, and then starts to add that bit of humor because he's feeling like his old self, but in a part 2 or a part 3 kind of way, where it's very cruel, very sadistic. I mean, when they wrote the original treatment for A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Wes's version, they literally could not go with it because they said it was too violent and that Freddy was too
Ooh.
vulgar. And I feel like that's the Freddy that we need to see. And he does need to be funny. Freddy has to crack jokes, but I don't want us to necessarily ever root for him. And as much as he's my favorite, it's never because I'm rooting for him. I'm always still rooting for the protagonist. And I think that's the version that we especially need in the modern day, is not Freddy the comedian. We need to go back to Freddy being scary. And that's one thing I will give Jackie Earl Haley credit for, is he still was funny. Like when he makes the joke about like the dog, when he kills the dog, he's like, sorry, I was just petting him. That's funny as fuck. That's hilarious, but he's still scary. And like that 7 minutes thing, that's kind of the energy I want us to see on screen again with Freddy, is that part 2, maybe a little bit of part 3 Freddy.
Another iconic horror movie villain is Pennywise the Clown, that has like in that it kind of universe has a lot of lore behind him. And I feel like Freddy Krueger has probably not as much lore because he's not like a mythical, creature. But I feel like you can maybe, instead of a movie, do something like a Welcome to Derry or like a Welcome to Elm Street, and maybe have some sort of not background, but something different, because I'm always trying to think of something different that they can do. Obviously, you have, because you have a great, planned out, new
Yeah.
reimagining for Nightmare on Elm Street. But have you thought about what a Nightmare on Elm Street would look like as an 8 to 10 episode HBO series? What would that look like for you?
It'd have to be a prequel, like specifically seeing him as a human being doing these things, progressively getting worse, seeing him get caught. And I always hated the dream demons in Freddy's Dead. I'm a Freddy's Dead apologist. It knows what it is and it's just having fun with it. But the idea of these dream demons seeking him out and giving him his power takes away from just the original idea of he is just fear. He is just the
Mhm.
fear that these children have and that even the parents had, and he is neglect incarnate. So I think just seeing his rise in the real world and the fear that he instills in the parents and almost kind of driving them crazy in a way where, like, in the world of it affects the town of Derry. It is literally
Mhm.
poisoning the people. And that's one thing I always find interesting about Freddy's Nightmares. And I like to not necessarily consider it canon, but I like the idea of, okay, at this point in the franchise, he is the boogeyman of this town. People, even that if we're not seeing them talk about him, we're only seeing the protagonists. People are talking about the weird things that are happening. The parents are ignoring it, but the teens and the kids are not. And so he kind of has power over everybody now, and has all their fear. And so seeing that effect in the real world, what his real crimes are doing, and sort of driving people to paranoia and madness to the point that they form a mob that burns him alive, I think would be so fascinating seeing that in long form and seeing,
Mhm.
Donald Thompson, a young Donald Thompson going through that and and I also would like them to return to the idea of Nancy and Tina and Rod and Glenn, they all had older siblings that Fred killed. And I think seeing that would especially hit home of like, it's not just, oh, they were worried for their children. It's he already got their kids. He's already got some of the kids. They only have some kids left now. They're worried about their remaining kids and they're starting to lose their minds. I think that would be the best way to go. And then if you were to continue the show, then maybe sort of do like a 50% anthology where it's just how it impacts the town versus, because you don't want to just redo the first movie, you know what I mean? But like
Of
maybe just
course.
seeing his growth outside of specifically honing in on Nancy and those teens. But I think just seeing the real world stuff would be far more interesting. And I'm always a fan of a limited series. I don't think everything needs to be fleshed out in the world of 8 to 10 episode series. I think one season just focusing on him in the real world would be awesome.
I think that I would enjoy that and want that more than another Nightmare on Elm Street reimagining.
Yeah.
I would like to see a show because also there are some really incredible horror shows based off of horror movies. For example, and like you're like I'm a biggest Freddy fan in the entire world. I am the biggest Evil Dead fan ever. I love Bruce Campbell. I say hello to him every morning. I'm like, hello,
Hey,
Bruce.
Ash.
Hey, what's up, Ash? I I love Evil Dead so much. And when that Ash versus Evil Dead show came out,
Love.
it is the fucking best. The
So good.
first season was perfect. 10 out of 10. Max knows. Like I
Yep.
watched it over and over again. It's funny. Bruce Campbell is just so charismatic. He drips it. He's the
Yep.
perfect fucking Ash Williams. Holy shit. He is one that I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say no one else could be Ash Williams.
God,
Like
no.
you
And
can
it's
put
safe to
Freddy
say that.
Krueger makeup on an actor and hide their face, but nobody could be Ash Williams, but Bruce Campbell.
God,
That
no.
show was great. Even they have 3 seasons. They knew mid third season that they were getting canceled and they made do. And I wasn't mad about the ending.
Yeah.
They did what they could. That show was fantastic. The first season of the Chucky show, one of the best seasons of anything I've ever seen. Fantastic. There's an Exorcist show with Gina Davis first season.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. And I really think and Derry, I've only, the third episode comes out today or is premiering today, but the first 2 episodes are really good.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, this is a direction that I think that movies should continue in, like the horror
Yeah.
movies. Like have that Nightmare on Elm Street show, have that limited series. I want to watch that. I think that would be great.
I agree. I will say I love Ash versus Evil Dead so much that I actually rank it over all the movies, which I think is controversial. But I'm like, old man Ash Williams is my favorite iteration by far. I love Kelly and Pablo. Like,
Oh
genuinely,
god.
2 of my favorite characters to be added to an existing IP. I freaking love
Yes.
them.
Yes. Oh, while you have that in mind, I actually had something to ask you earlier, and then it went out of my mind, and now you just brought it back to me. Speaking of IPs,
Mhm.
maybe you could answer this for me as a DVD aficionado. Almost every IP when they get it, has a killer and at least like one killer, right? And then one survivor, and if we're lucky, a map, right?
Mhm.
Tell me why we just got Ash Williams. We got no Deadite. We got no woodland map, or what our cabin. Why did we just get Ash?
I think sometimes it is the license itself because like Texas Chainsaw and Chucky, for example, they don't have survivors. Hellraiser didn't have a survivor. Hellraiser didn't have a map. Chucky didn't have a map. Texas Chainsaw didn't have a map. Sometimes it's just in working with the licensing holder, it's whatever they agree to. And Pinhead, I like was removed from the store because they lost the rights, essentially. Like, it all has to do with whatever
a
the
new
licensing
game.
holder. Yeah, so like the licensing holder basically decides. It's kind of like how we lost Stranger Things for a bit, and now it's back and people can purchase it again. So it all depends on just what the licensing holder agrees to. And I think maybe with Evil Dead it's hard because it's like, what, like, you'd have to come up with an entirely new killer and justify their existence in the game, whereas more people know Ash Williams than they know the actual Deadites. Or maybe even, I think if you're a horror fan, you obviously know different Deadites, you can recognize them and their behaviors, but a lot of people just know Ash. And so I think in that case it made sense of just like, hey, Ash versus Evil Dead, let's get Ash in here. I would love to see Kelly and Pablo too, but most people aren't going to know Kelly and Pablo. Everybody knows Ash Williams. And then Texas Chainsaw, you could add Sally, but unfortunately Leatherface is just way more well known than Sally is. Again, unless you're a diehard horror fan, the general populace, they know Leatherface, they don't know Sally. They don't know any Final Girl probably from the Texas Chainsaw universe, except for maybe the one from the 2000 was it 3 remake? Was it 2003? I don't know. The Texas
2003,
Chainsaw
yeah.
remake.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, that actually was fucking iconic. I do actually really
I
like that
love
remake.
that movie.
Was that the Jessica Biel one?
Yeah, is that who plays her?
I like the
Think so.
Jessica Biel
It is
one.
Jessica Biel, and the only reason I ever remember that is because of how she portrays herself in BoJack Horseman. And then for some reason I was just like, it's so funny that she shits on herself in that show when she's actually really good. But yeah, it just depends on the licensing holder.
What about having as the villain for, so you have Dead by Daylight, you have Ash Williams, and then Pablo and Kelly could be like, you can get like, or like a Pablo and then like a skin for Pablo could be Kelly or something like that. But then the villain is the angry molesting Trey.
It could, I think it could be that they have trees in DVD. I mean, that's actually a scene that a lot of people, it's funny that again, like a lot of people do know that specific scene, but it just, it really is interesting to see what people will agree to versus what they won't. When it comes to just like DVD and what they'll allow to be in there, like whether there's a survivor or not. And it's like, again, my dream is for like OG Freddy to be in the game and for Nancy to be in the game and have a skin for Laurie from Freddy vs. Jason and Alice from 4 and 5. Like, I need a Freddy with sunglasses skin. That is actually the one thing I want, is I need him with sunglasses and I need him dropping quips, just like Chucky does.
Do you said that you only get to play against him once in a while. He's not a very sought out killer to play. Is he hard to play?
No.
Or
I think people just think he's like D tier. He had a rework a few months ago that I actually think was really good. But a lot of people, he was like considered OP when he first was released. And I didn't get to play when he was first released. And then they nerfed him heavily. And then they just recently gave him a rework, but I still just don't think he's a popular killer to pick. A lot of people, like, you do see a lot of the same killers, and it's just because some of them are just considered more like considered stronger than other killers. Like, you see a lot of Weskers, a lot of Huntresses, like you don't see a lot of Trappers. Every now and again you do, but it's because I think a lot of newer players will play a Trapper or a Billy. They'll play what's accessible to them. But you see people making their rankings all the time of like what tier, and Freddy's typically lower tier.
He's here.
Yeah.
Oh man, what IP do you want? If you could, like, I know like Freddy's your favorite, but he's already in there. What IP would you want Dead by Daylight? If you could, they came to you right now and they're like, Lexorcist, tell us what you want right now and we'll put it in right this second. What would it be?
I want Candyman in the game. I feel like Candyman is such a missed opportunity.
You're totally right. Tell me details. Like, tell me about his Mori. Would it be like fucking bees and shit? Like, what would
I literally feel like replace the totems with bees. I'm not even kidding.
Like hives?
Or like he literally, when he travels, like have it be sort of like a Dracula thing where he travels as bats, but it's bees. Like, I just feel like there's so much they could do with him. And I feel like the Mori would actually be more of him, like, and I would want it to be for both male and female survivors, where he's kind of doing that seductive thing, like running
my victim.
Exactly, like running the hook down, and then like whether it's the bees coming out of his mouth and him like ripping open and like the bees, or like him gutting them and then doing that. I want bees. There need to be bees involved in some way, shape, or form. I need bees. But I just feel like aesthetically he's awesome, and I know, God God rest Tony Todd. He's not with us anymore, but I just feel like we need more Black characters in the horror sphere in general. And I do like the Houndmaster as an original character, but I think he is one of the most iconic Black killers that we have in horror, in mainstream horror. Like, everybody again knows Candyman, even outside of massive horror fans. The general populace knows Candyman. We got to get him in the game. I really feel like it's just a missed opportunity that we don't have him, and it's representation that I think we need to see.
Absolutely, just more representation in horror in general, because I'm thinking about it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think only like, what was it, like one of the first main guys is the only one that's like a gay character in Dead by Daylight. David.
Yeah, David's one.
Yeah.
And then they added Arella recently, so she is not just Black, but she also is a trans woman. And of course, you saw people getting, freaking out about that. And unfortunately, I have a friend who I played with who he was playing as her and got tunneled out of multiple games, and I tried to, kind of help him there. And we try not to immediately assume that's the reason, because sometimes it's you're healing under hook and the killer comes back and they go for the injured person, because obviously if you're trying to get survivors out, that's what you do. And so we try to sometimes give benefit of the doubt at first and be like, okay, I don't want to assume it's because I'm playing, let's see how the rest of the match goes. And when it becomes obvious, like, okay, you are targeting this character because they are trans or because they are Black, it's just, I immediately lose disrespect for the person playing killer. It's just immediate. Like,
it's terrible.
But I feel like we still just need more of that representation in the game. And I know I've been seeing people clamor, or like people headcanoning that Sable is trans. And I'm like, fuck it, why not? And who cares if people are headcanoning that? Like, people canon Dwight as gay and they ship Dwight and David. And I'm like, I feel like horror in general is for the people who feel like outcasts. There's a reason that so many people are drawn to it from the LGBTQ plus community. And it's because you are made to feel like an outcast. And it's just, I don't know, it's a genre that's so much for, people in that community. And then you even have Horror Noir, which is a fantastic documentary that I can't recommend enough, that talks about the representation of Black people and people of color in horror movies and in the genre. And I just feel like we need more of that.
That's on Shudder, right?
Yes.
Very good. Shudder has Horror Noir. They also have what was like they came out like 3 of them, and it was like 100 greatest horror movies. And
In Search of Darkness.
In Search of Darkness, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes. In Search of fantastic. I got so many great recommendations from In Search of Darkness. And there's like 2 or 3 of them out, all different horror movies. It's fantastic. Hear me out. How would you, okay, you are your job, Miss Lexorcist. I am misbehavior. And I'm hiring you because I want you to come up with we have the IP for Jaws. I need you to come up with a map and how we are going to work out the killer, which is the shark. Go.
I don't even need to do that, because there is an animator who he's the one who actually made, or I shouldn't say he, because I'm assuming it's a guy. I believe I've seen people refer to him as he, but I'll just say they for now, who made a fake one for Xeno, for Xenomorph. And then obviously Xeno got out of the game, made one for Jaws and made an animation showing how it would work. And it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. The shark does in fact swim through the map. And then when it's picking up survivors, it kind of nudges, because the survivors are not in the water, it like nudges, I think, like a pier or whatever, and knocks them into its mouth. And then to get them on the hook, it jumps up out of the water, hooks them, and then jumps back down. And it's the cutest thing I've ever seen, honestly. It's really, really cute.
If you find this, can you send it to me? Because I really want to see it.
I'm going to Google it right now. DVD Jaws one. It's
because
so cute.
I think about that often, because I'm like, is the map underwater? Like, how do we do this?
I think it would have to be on a pier. I think it would have to be like a pier would be the map, so that way there's water all around it. And the survivors are running on the pier, but the shark can obviously like knock it off. I'm just gonna
a boat.
And the music.
Yeah. Or a boat, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like a big boat, like a yacht.
I have the link.
And the music that it's close is the da-da,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be. I would shit myself. I would shit myself live there on stream.
You'd
Oh
have
yeah.
to turn
No,
off your
and
redeem for it though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, it's like he would be swimming through the water. I'll share the link. But like I'm
Okay.
just watching right now. So like someone was like they said like for stairs, for example, he has his own pool of water basically. So even when you're on a map that's not water based, every time he's moving, because the entity can do whatever they want, right? He always is in a little pool of water that he can go up and around. It's literally just like the cutest thing I've ever seen. Is he made a concept animation? I thought that was
Are
it,
the
but it was just
pools
him talking it.
are the pools of water? Is it like, oh, you know how like on the map they'll have like this the Demogorgon will like make buttholes and you have to like close the butthole. Is there like little like pools of water randomly where like the shark can like come up from? Like,
The
is that
way
what
they
you mean by
have
pools
it
of water?
is literally it's just like a circle of water, and I'm watching it right now, and he's just in the circle of water. And so like for pallets, he goes under them. Oh, it's the locker check. He knocks into it with his nose, and so for the locker grab, it opens and the survivor falls into his mouth, and then he carries the survivor. I'm gonna have to share the link with you. It's so
Dude.
cute. It's so cute, and it put me on board. I was like, I now want Jaws in the game because this is so cute. So like, it's literally just like Macmillan Estate, it's just grass, and you just see a moving pool of water with a little shark fin, and it just moves around the map, and it's so
That's
I'm
cute.
obsessed.
terrifying.
It's so
Good
cute.
lord.
I would actually shit my pants, yeah, if a shark was coming after me, and it's like not if I see a moving pool of water with a shark fin, I'm fucking crying
I'm like,
within
yeah.
5 seconds.
I am fucking out. I would
Yeah.
be so scared. It's my fear of sharks. It's like my
Sharks.
number one, so I'd be so scared. I also think that who would make a really good DBD villain would be Babadook.
I could see that working. I think what's hard now is I think he's been memed all because of that one time when they put him in the LGBT section on Netflix, and now everybody thinks of the Babadook as just like a queen. But I
He's
also
a queen. He is a queen.
I love it. It's just so funny. It's like, damn, we did take like a very poignant story, but at the same time, like it's poignant regardless. But I just love the memes now just about the Babadook. But I feel like that's again one of those IPs where it's just like not popular enough and is just too much of a meme for them to ever bring in. And I could be wrong, and I'll eat crow if it happens one day. But I feel like he got memed too hard.
He did. That was so good. And then he was like, his gay lover was Pennywise the clown.
Yes.
The Baba Shook.
Baba
I was
Shook.
like, oh my god. I had on my roller derby helmet a big sticker of the Baba Shook, the gay like Babadook, just like all colorful and stuff. I'm like, that's just like
It's such a good bit.
so good. Max, if you were to add an IP to Dead by Daylight, it could be anything. Doesn't even have to be horror related. What would you put? Survivor, killer, and map.
I want the Predator, the final girl, the Predator and the final girl from Prey, and I want the tree scene from Prey where there's like the lion in the tree and you can like run around it or whatnot. I think that would be pretty sick.
I love Prey. Prey is my favorite Predator movie.
It's the best one.
It's
So good.
fantastic. Yeah. So super good.
Although I think
surprised they
Predator
don't have
2 is
Predator.
pretty good too. I'm just a Carl Weathers fan though.
Prey is really good. There was rumors at one point that they were supposed to have Predator, and then they ended up shifting it to Skull Merchant instead. I don't think that was actually true or confirmed true, but a lot of people thought that Skull Merchant was supposed to be Predator, and then the licensing got pulled, and so they shifted to make her an original character instead. But I think it's just because people really hated her and just really want Predator in the game.
Hated Skull Merchant?
Oh, people hate Skull Merchant, but I see less hate nowadays. But when she was released, people were up in arms. Like truly, people.
Why?
I mean, there was a time where people were calling her Chess Merchant because, long story short, she was really good at creating 3-gen situations and holding the game hostage, and so you saw people exploiting that. A lot of people just didn't find her fun to go up against. People just hated the fact that she was like a hot woman. and not scary. And there is like one skin where she does look like Kris Jenner, but like I don't know. I think a lot of it was overblown. She looks like Kris Jenner.
I want to see Kris Jenner as this skull merchant.
Oh my god,
that's so funny.
So
Just like Kris Jenner, chest merchant. That's hilarious.
Yeah, people did not like her. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
I ask Max all the time. I'm like, "What's your stripper name?" You ever think about it? I think Max would be Sunny Delight.
You don't have one yet? If you've been asked a million times and you don't have one yet?
I don't like to think about
Max the Grim Stripper. Right there. Boom.
I don't want to do this. I don't like going out in public. I don't want to strip for people.
I don't want to strip.
You can have a name, just like ready to go.
No, because then I'm gonna like overthink it. I'm like, I like this, but what about other people? How will they like it?
How will they like it? Mine is Midnight Snack.
Ooh.
Max is now I have given you the name Ginger Snaps.
Ooh, that's a good
I was thinking Ginger Spice, like the Spice
Ginger
Girl,
Spice.
But, you know,
Ginger Spice is also good. Ginger Snaps is like your fighting name. Like Ginger Spice.
Yeah.
Okay, so a show where you're a stripper, right? And so your job is a stripper, but you're Ginger Spice. But when you fight crime as a superhero, you're Ginger Snap.
I should turn like Kathleen Isabel. Like, just become like a giant like werewolf.
I'm in. Yes. I'm sold. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Ginger Snaps 4 starring me.
I'm in. I'm so in for Ginger Snaps 4. Ginger Snaps the cookie though, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, gingerbread is better, I would say.
Gingerbread is absolutely
ginger snaps
better.
are okay.
God. I would love some gingerbread right now.
Oh, you would? I make gingerbread cookies every holiday season because the people clamor for my gingerbread cookies. I make them like perfectly soft. They clamor. Oh, they clamor. I make a shit ton. I literally make so many gingerbread cookies, and like it's ridiculous. I make like Kevin could testify here. I make so many. Like the kitchen is like I literally have them all over the place, just like cooling down, and I pipe each one of them with like I give them different designs. I take it very seriously.
She clamors, she pipes.
What don't I do?
Freddy versus Jason. I mean, she's spooky, bad, and thick.
She does it all. Kevin just said can confirm.
It's great.
Oh, I fucking love that so much. I am now obsessed with the thought of Jaws in Dead by Daylight, and we need to like.
I'll send you the animation. It's so cute.
Oh
like it feels wrong saying it's cute, but it's really cute.
I have yet to go against the Xenomorph. Are they not popular?
I don't think they're super popular. I see a fair amount of them, and I actually, when I was trying to get back into playing Killer, that's who I played as. I let one of my community members, Protein, is a Killer main through and through, and I let him pick. Protein Consumer is the full name, so we just say Protein. He is both my biggest supporter and my biggest hater. He keeps me humble, but he roots for me to die every match. He is on the Killer's side no matter what, and when I survive, he boos. But he was like, you gotta play, and then I think he picked Xeno. And I think Xeno's really fun to play as. Like, I'm not great by any means, but I also love going up against a Xeno. A lot of people, and this is just something I see with like survivors in general when it comes to literally any killer ever, complain saying like, oh, you can't dodge the tail. I'm like, but you can. I think they're really fun to run. I've had some really good loops against Xenomorphs. I've had some really fun matches against Xenomorphs. I also just think they're cute. I think they're really, really cute, just like Demogorgons, who I do not see enough anymore. I rarely see Demogorgons.
I get really excited when I see one. Even when I was playing, I was telling you with Femmes the Fog, we got a Demogorgon. And all of us were like, ah!
It's so cute. They're so cute.
They're adorable. Oh, they're so cute. I love them so much.
But I would want to pet Xenomorph.
They're so bumpy.
I know, but no, I think the head
I'm not like other girls. I want a xenomorph.
No, because the Xeno's a cat and the Demo's a dog. And I love dogs, but I'm definitely more of a cat person. Even though I want a dog eventually. But like this is a Xeno kitty, you know? Like they got the long tail. I feel like you could get string and they'd chase the string. I think if you
string.
Yeah.
The xenomorph's mortal enemy is string.
Yeah, the string. They can't resist.
Like, hey, you just throw it there like
they run after it, they bring it back, they love it.
So cute. I love xenomorphs so much. I actually recently was on my friend's podcast, and we were doing a smash or pass, and the xenomorph came up, or like Riz. It was more like do you think this animal has Riz? And all of 4 of us that were on the podcast were just like, so much Bumpy. So much Riz.
Well, and that was intentional in terms of the design of Xenomorph. It is supposed to be sexual. Like H.R. Geiger's whole design theory was around sex. And so there's literally like a photo shoot of like 2 naked women with a Xenomorph. Like that exists out there. Like it's intentional. And so when, you see some people say like, well, that's an animal. And it's like, I mean, they have proven to be way, more intelligent than that. But also it is intentional for you to look at this creature and think about sex. Like it is sexual in nature.
Super, super sexual, super drippy with the face hunkers got like the ovaries.
The fucking head.
And the fucking
head is
pussy
literally,
face.
Yeah.
It's an incredible design. And what I forget his name, you just said it, but his artwork is just
H.R. Geiger,
so cool.
yeah. There's a game that was made inspired by his artwork as well called Scorn, and Protein requested I play it.
Oh, yeah.
And that is when I rage quit. I genuinely that day, I have never ever been frustrated with a game. I think I got to the last third and I was just so miserable, and I was like, guys, I actually need to end here, and I'm gonna go get really fucking high. And I think I already had gotten high because I was like, I'm so mad right now, I need to calm down. And so I BRB'd, I smoked, I came back, and I was like, wow, I'm still miserable, I need to go get more high, I'm done, goodbye. And I'm not picking it up again. And Protein every now and again, he goes, so when are you finishing Scorn? I'm like, I'm never finishing Scorn. Fuck you. I'm never touching that game again. Beautiful to look at, though. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Max, you played it too?
I've played like 15 minutes of it and got stuck. There's a really good game that I think is really like interesting. It's called Agony, and and it's basically like if like the Cenobites and like aliens had like a love child in hell, and it's pretty great. There's an unrated version, and it's blocked by like the game itself is blocked by Twitch, so you can't stream it, but like the game's pretty good. I'm looking at
pictures right now.
I think the one thing I don't like about it is just all the fucking in it. There's just so much sex in it.
I mean, I immediately see a demon lady with boobies, so
yeah,
it
gets worse.
But it looks cool.
There's this part where it's not like a spoiler, but like you like walk up this wall, and you walk up the wall, and you like recenter at the top, and there's just 2 dudes like fucking in the corner, like, and it's just like awesome, great, good on you guys, but like, no thanks. Like, I'm rooting for you guys, but I don't want it.
I don't want any part of this.
Lex, have you speaking of Alien, I've played every horror game. Like I played so many horror games, but no horror game has ever scared me like Alien Isolation. Have you played Alien Isolation?
I did twice, because the first time I ended up screwing myself over. I got to the like literal basically last mission, or like second to last mission, and I didn't realize by that point in the game that you can't really get any new resources, that they're very, very limited. And I had wasted pretty much all my flamethrower fuel, and I was like, maybe I'm just not being sneaky enough. I like literally played the same 5 minutes or so. I was stuck for 2.5 hours, just dying over and over at like the very beginning of this mission, trying to be sneaky. And so I Googled it, and the first thing I see on Reddit was, if you do not have resources in this mission, you can't complete this mission. You genuinely can't sneak. You're at a point where you need the flamethrower. And so I was like, I'm going to have to start. I'm going to have to go back several missions. And so I did that, and then it just wasn't as fun. So I didn't pick it up for a while. And by the time I did, I was like, I'm just starting over. Let's just start fresh.
Yeah.
And then I played it. It took me about a week, but I am like, I need another game like that, because truly it's a slow burn, and there's like one section where you do get, I think after the first time you're done with the Xeno, there's that little stretch without it. And it's like, okay, like let's bring the Xeno back. Fucking love that game. I already want to play it again on nightmare mode. I won't live very long, but I want to play it on nightmare mode. And I did say for the Halloween game, I was really hoping we'd get an Alien Isolation style game where Michael has the same AI that the alien does. And I'm excited to see what we get regardless, but Alien Isolation truly is one of like the best horror games of all time.
So you play, because you said missions, so I'm going to assume the first time you played it on easy or normal.
I played it on normal, I think.
So I played it on easy, and then the week of Halloween, the whole week I played it on hard. And on easy and normal, you get mission 1, mission 2, mission 3. You don't get that on hard. They do not tell you what mission you're on. Everything is expedited. So, for example, when I played on easy, mission 5 is when the alien showed up for me. The alien showed up for me within the first half hour playing in a hard. So everything is sped up. Nightmare mode, you would have to, like, you would have a map and you don't have a motion detector.
I saw this guy, sorry to cut you off. There's this guy on YouTube who played Nightmare Mode, but every time he died, he restarted the entire game to try and do a no death run. And one of the most entertaining videos I've ever seen, he went insane pretty quickly when he realized there was no map. And I was like, wow, I would suck at that because I would get lost with a map. Still kind of want to try it though.
Do it. You should absolutely do it. I recommend, I mean, I have not done it, but it seems like it's super fun. Like that would be like the most fun stream ever. And if you do it on stream, please like advertise it everywhere so I can see, because I need to fucking watch that. You probably already played this game already, but the only other game that got me kind of that satisfaction that I got from Alien Isolation was the first Outlast.
Never played it.
So highly recommend it. It's half the time. It's probably about an 8-hour-ish game. But what you're describing with Alien Isolation, how it makes you feel, and that slow burn, that is Outlast as well. And Outlast is scary. Outlast, you get chased by pee-pee monsters. It is really like a fight for your life. Instead of a motion detector, you have a, camera with night vision that you have to find batteries for, which becomes scarce. It is fantastic, and I think it'll scratch that itch for you. It took me so long to play Outlast because I suffer really badly from motion sickness. I have to get high every time I play games, even off stream, because I just, even looking at a screen, just like really just like something visually, maybe my eyes are bad, it just makes me very sick. So I never played Outlast because I'm like, this looks like the quintessential, this is going to make Allison sick game. And it didn't. The bobbing is not really something you can take off, but it is something that you get used to. And it's so if like that bothers you and you're like, I can't toggle this off. Like I was so mad I couldn't toggle it off, but it does add to the effect and you do get used to it. I think you will absolutely love it, and it'll scratch that itch until the next Alien Isolation game comes out. And I'm so interested to like get your opinion on it.
People keep recommending it and saying like, oh, you need to play Outlast. I'm like, I will get there eventually. I am also the kind of person who, if someone's recommending something to me, even if I know it's going to be the fucking greatest thing of all time, I'm going to somehow resist doing the thing and putting it off. I forget what that's called, but I do that a lot, even though I don't want to do it. But I will get there.
It's like stepping out of your comfort zone, right? It's like, I'd rather play Dead by Daylight and like something I know that's like makes me happy, I'm going to have fun with, and like almost kind of like taking that step of like trying something that I'm not completely sure about. I feel that same way. I get that.
It's
I get that
50-50.
too.
It's like 50% that and 50% some inexplicable my brain just being like, yeah, but now that you're like you're insisting I do this, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on my time. Like even with like TV shows, like people will be like, you gotta watch
Yes.
Severance, and I'm like, sounds great, sounds amazing. The few clips I've seen, I know I'd like it. I'm not starting it anytime soon. And then I'll start it like a year, like Game of Thrones. I didn't watch it until last year. That was my first time ever seeing it, even though people kept telling me to watch it. And I was like, sounds great. Everybody loves it. Not going to start it.
I'm the same way. I will start things on my own and on my own time. And it does like get me a little like irked when everyone's just like, oh, watch Severance. I do watch Severance, but like when people, like it is a fantastic show. But like the more people tell me to watch something, the more I'm not going to do it. It's just annoying to me.
I don't even know what it's called. It has a term, but I can't think of what the term is right now, but it does have a name, that like thought process.
If anyone in chat knows what that term means, if you guys know, please let us know, because I would love to know too, because I'm the same way. Like, oh, you gotta watch, it's so good. Like Game of Thrones is like the perfect example. Everyone's just like, I watched Game of Thrones, this, that, it's so good. I get it. And like maybe one day when it's like 3 years from now and I'm just at my desk and I'm like, hey, throw on something. Oh, all right, let's put on Game of Thrones at my time. You know what I mean? And I did that with Outlast too. Everyone, same thing as I'm telling you right now. Everyone was just like, Outlast is the scariest, and they also say stuff that like, it's a game that's now 11 years old. And at the time, like, this game is 11 years old. I can't imagine 11 years ago how fucking terrifying this was to play. Same thing with Alien Isolation. And you just appreciate, it's more than just like you have to play this, Lex, because it's scary. It's you have to play this, Lex, because you appreciate like good games and horror, and you see things differently. You're not just like, I'm just going to play it because it's like a game. You look into things, you analyze things. You're better than the normal just kind of like person going in and playing a horror game. Like, this is what you're into. So I just, as a person who just loves horror so much, and I look at that stuff too, and all the surroundings and lore to things, and especially Outlast, the lore is incredible. Like, it's more of like, for someone who loves horror, they'll appreciate it so much more. And I think like if you don't play the game because people are like, oh, you should play it because it's scary, play it eventually, just because it's more than just surface horror. It's deeper. And I think that you'll really appreciate the story too.
It's very high on my list of what games am I going to play next. I'm also not allowing myself to buy any new games because we're currently saving for our wedding, but also my sister's getting married next year. So I have to also be prepared to spend money on her wedding and so many things in 2026. So I'm like, I can't justify buying any new games at the moment. But I think because I just played Resident Evil 7, I think that was like the last story-based game I played. I think I was torn between buying Silent Hill F or buying something like Outlast that, has been out longer and for a while, and playing something older as opposed to playing something that's new. So maybe it'll be the next game I buy.
And it is always on sale when it goes on sale, like during the Steam sales, for $3.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like it's always on sale for $3. And eventually that's what I bought it, because I was just like, you know what? I'll play this eventually, but $3, I can't resist now.
Let me see how much it is right now.
Yeah, during the
Silent
holidays.
Hill F, it's so expensive.
During the holidays, the Outlast games go, and you can get all three for $3, I think, or very close to it.
It's like the bundles, like, what is that, like $30 right now? So I'm gonna keep an eye out around the holidays.
Yeah,
Outlast
for
2
sure.
isn't the same thing. It's gonna feel very different, but only because Outlast 2 is story-wise comes before Outlast 1.
Okay.
That's good to know, because I'm going to be playing Outlast 2 probably in the next couple of months, and I know nothing about it. I have seen my friend play it a little bit, but it looks significantly different than Outlast 1. You've played it before, Max?
I've played a little bit of it. I just know, like, Outlast 2 is more open, you're not so much like in like one building so much as you're in kind of like, I think it's a town, I think is what
Mm-hmm.
you're in. So you're like going through this town and trying not to get like seen by the residents
Murdered.
of it. Yeah. I know
Is it
there's like a
very
cult or something like that.
Ooh,
cult? I like cult stuff. I like
I
cult
love cult
movies.
stuff.
Love that. I love Midsommar.
Oh
Did
yes,
you love that movie? It's such a
I
girl
did.
power movie.
I love that movie, and I also love Hereditary. I get why people
Me
don't like it or
too.
don't like elevated horror, which I just kind of hate that term in general. But I like movies that just explore
Elevated.
like, yeah, that's like been like a trendy term, and that's something that like Scream 5 was kind of not poking fun at, but like referencing like, you know, new horror audiences appreciating horror that has something to say. And I obviously
Yeah.
appreciate horror like that as well, but I also like my slashers and I like my mindless bloodbaths and my camp.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And but we also like, so I call them art house artsy films, or like
Mm,
art house horror, because like Hereditary, Midsommar, Killing of a Sacred Deer, like all these like kind of movies that you have to think rather than, okay, hear me out.
I'm ready.
I I'm such a Blumhouse hater.
Mhm.
Like, and it's nothing against him. He's a genius for what he does. And what he does is he knows that it is cheap to make a horror movie. He knows that everyone will watch a horror movie. Like kids will watch horror movies, but also kids watch horror movies like this.
Mhm.
That's how they watch, right? I watch horror movies like this. So the movies that Blumhouse makes are movies where there's so much like was like expedition, just like they say things over and over again to make sure that you know what's going on in every moment. It's cheap boogala boogalas. It's not, there's no substance, there's no anything. It's an evil pool. It's cool. The story sucked.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
you
well
know what I
yeah,
mean?
Night
Like,
Swim was garbage.
it's, yeah, like you know what I mean? Like it's just like so many. There's a couple of Blumhouse ones that I like, but like most of them, that's those kind of movies do not cater to me.
Yeah.
But like A24 movies cater to me. I love more of those psychological thinking, artsy fartsy horror films, but I like my bloodbaths. I
Yeah.
like my slashies. I liked you know, I like things like that. I just don't like these like teenage kiddie movies that are like so stupid. Like I just rewatched Wish Upon because it was
Oh,
on Netflix,
so bad.
and
It's
I'm like,
so bad
oh
it's low key
god.
good. It's so bad it's low key good. Like genuinely entertaining. Like I can't get like Joey King. Can't get enough of just her face that entire
Her
movie.
face,
It's
face,
so
yes.
stupid, it's great.
I love it. I love. You're so right. You're so right. Like it's just
Like
it's
they
so
do
much.
overall, and like it's funny because I feel like I can't think of specific studios, but like New Line was also like on top of like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street's decline in quality. They also were releasing, you know, movies of lower quality, and I think Blumhouse is just like that studio that we have now, where
Mhm,
some of the movies, and it just depends on the actor too. Or not the actor, the
mhm.
writer and the director. Like it's not necessarily just because it's Blumhouse, because you have somewhere the whole team overall creates something great, but then obviously they're going to just kind of produce and uh back anything that they think will make them money. And they're not the first studio to do that, which is why I'm like 50-50 on them acquiring Nightmare. I'm like, with the right director and the right cast, it's going to be great. They are, because like I love Halloween 2018. That is one of my favorite Halloween sequels.
Is that the one? Is that the one that Danny McBride directed?
He wrote, yeah, he wrote and directed part of it. I forget who the other one was. I mean, David Gordon Green. It's David Gordon Green, but Danny McBride
That's
was
the only one I
involved.
liked. That's
I
the
like
only new
2018.
Halloween. Hmm.
I enjoy Kills the more I watch it. It's like really grown on me, because I think
Hmm.
in comparison to like the other sequels, I'm like, 4 people love. I'm like, but quality wise, are we really going to pretend like Kills is any worse than 4 or 5, Resurrection? Like, and like it's not. It really isn't. If anything, it's on par, or admittedly, like, yeah, like it's really on par with them. And it knows what it is. I don't think it's perfect. I think there's stuff that's stupid. I roll my eyes every time they say evil dies tonight. But at the same time, I could see where they were going with it. And I do think Halloween Ends is a good movie tacked on to the end of a trilogy it was not meant to be part of. And so it's like, I love these things, but I can criticize them. But I am thankful that Blumhouse brought us this. It brought Michael back to the forefront of the public conscious outside of just like, oh yeah, that one killer that we sometimes mix up with Jason Voorhees, because that happens all the time. But it happens less now because he was a little more relevant in pop culture. And I would like to see that happen again for Freddy, as I've said. So Blumhouse, sometimes you knock it out of the park. For the most part, you don't. I'm trying to give you benefit of the doubt here.
I think like The Conjuring, the first one was good.
I like the first Conjuring. Second one,
right?
I thought it started really strong. I hate the nun. I hate that nun so much. I want to punch that nun in the face. Worst movie I've ever seen is The Nun. I got so mad. I've never been mad at a movie. That was the first and only time I've ever been mad at a movie. I hate that nun.
Tell me why you hate that nun. Besides, the movie is shit. But tell me why you're so angry. Tell me why.
With The Conjuring 2, and granted, the Warrens were basically scam artists and shitty people. I like fictional Ed and Lorraine. But the story they at least used for 2, I thought it was interesting up until it's like, surprise, Valak is behind everything. I think it just completely removes all the intrigue of like, I kind of love the idea of just a normal fucking ghost, like just a guy who died. It doesn't need to be some witch, and it doesn't need to be some demon. Like, why not just have the ghost of somebody normal who can't accept that they died just doing ghost shit? And I think once it's like, oh, it's this demon and it's actually tied to a vision Lorraine had of Ed dying, it just feels like forced suspense. I don't know. I think it completely ruined the movie for me. And also visually, I feel like it's the same thing with Annabelle. Like, visually, Annabelle is over designed to the point where I don't find her scary. I think a regular Raggedy Ann doll is a scarier concept for a haunted doll like the real Annabelle, versus you have this overly designed, like, ooh, see how scary she is because her face is cracked. And it's the same thing with the nun, like, ooh, scary nun. And I'm like, this does nothing for me. And then, yeah, the movie was just boring. It was pointless. I'm never going to see the second one. I'm never going to watch the first one again. I think it was just the epitome to me of what I dislike about when certain franchises get popular, and it's just like completely milking them. Like Annabelle, I just also doesn't do it for me. I think I tried giving Annabelle a pass. I can't do it. And I think The Conjuring overall, I stopped investing in the franchise. I still haven't seen the new one. I don't know if I ever will.
It's the worst. It's so bad. It's so unbelievably bad. I watched it last week. I was just like, oh man, I hope this is really good. It's the last rites. I'm like, please. I'm just like, this is a cash grab. Please be the last.
I heard it's basically like it ends with the power. They defeat whatever the evil is with the power of like family love. Or I heard somebody say it's basically Lorraine and their daughter, but Ed is also there. That was like how I heard it described.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just like it's after the daughter, because like when Lorraine was like, it started off with like young Lorraine pregnant, and they go and get the birth, and they give birth and it's dead, and they're just like, please God, God, wham, baby. So like the evil was supposed to take that baby. So now the daughter's all grown up. She's engaged. She's, whatever. And it's like meet the parents. But then like the evil is here, and then it's like, okay. And then they do the same thing with like, oh, the evil is here, but also there's another family in this movie that the evil is haunting, and it's just, it's so bad. I want to ask you, because me and my friends, we could not remember when we were playing that like Riz game with the horror movie villains. She put on Annabelle, and we all go like, oh, and then we're like, wait, was Annabelle possessed by like a little kid? Was it an adult? Was it a demon? What was it?
It's a demon. So it's just a demon that attached itself to the doll as a vessel. And I think the demon also has just like the most generic design possible, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it literally is just like, it looks like a standard demon, but like also I would smash the demon, you know, not the doll, not the demon in the doll, but like the demon, smash.
How is it that just glass in a case will hold the demon back?
That's a great fucking question. I think it's the idea of like if a demon I think it's the idea of like demons if they choose a vessel, um, you know, they sort of are bound to it and then therefore have to live by the rules of it. I think it like sort of the concept of like you have to live by the rules of the form that you choose if you were some sort of supernatural entity. It kind of like just because he's an easy example, like Freddy, he only works when you are afraid of him. He is bound by the form he is choosing. He has to play by the rules of the form he is, and so therefore, demons. I think if you possess a doll, if that is your chosen vessel, you kind of have to live by the rules of said vessel. And so I think it's like you can't really do much unless like someone starts really getting involved with you. But also, I have no idea. I'm not, you know, I'm not a demonologist. I'm not an expert in the supernatural. I believe in it to a degree, but I also am a heavy skeptic because I know there are scam artists and I know there are things that can be chalked up to the human mind and psyche and just like have logical, rational explanation. So I'm curious to see what I experience in the Warren house. If I experience anything at all, we do have to sign a waiver. There's like gonna be a literal room that's like supposed to be the sanctuary with like crosses and shit and all that. So we will see. I have yet to have like an actual real supernatural experience. Had like one Ouija board experience that I'm like 80% confident was legit. But other than that, I'm like I'm a very heavy skeptic despite being a believer.
Wow. Holy shit. Spooky, bad, and thick, aka Lexorcist, aka Freddy Krueger's biggest fan, going to stay at one of the supposed most haunted places, the Ed and Lorraine Warren house, or house, right? Not the museum, the house.
Their house has like their little museum in it, and this is the first time they're letting people stay the night there.
Are you going to post any pictures or anything on social media? Are you allowed to do that? I know that's you had said you had to sign a waiver. Can we keep updates with like that night, or like how do people are you going to post about it? Like I want details. I want to know.
We would have to basically let them review any footage we film prior to posting anything. They are allowed to say no, and it costs to have them review the footage, especially the cost varies depending on how long the footage is. And there are certain things you cannot mention, specifically the movies, because this is not connected to the movies in any way, shape, or form. You cannot bring them up or discuss them. But they also give you a fact sheet that you have to refer to. And the thing is, if I were to do a video on the Warrens, I would not want to ignore their history and the people they hurt and like Ed. That said, I would obviously like to film the experience and be able to share it and kind of share it unfiltered. And I would obviously make sure I'm not discussing things I can't discuss. And I would keep the truth about the Warrens probably separate from anything I post with that to avoid any legal issues, but then maybe separate from that, make a video about them so they're not necessarily tied together. Like just focusing on the house and the experience and then something separate focusing on the Warrens. But the cost. If it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to even have them review the footage, I don't know if that's going to be worth it. I'm still probably going to film. I'm allowed to film, but unless I let them review it first, I cannot post anything.
That is, oh my God. I'm really excited to hear about your experience. When are you going?
January.
Okay.
Yeah.
So make sure everyone, if you're not following Lexorcist now, follow Lexorcist, especially coming up January. She'll probably talk about her experience on her streams. And do you have a YouTube channel too?
Nothing has been posted to it except a couple shorts, but I do, and I'm actually working on a series of videos to start uploading. I'm working on writing video essays.
That is really cool. So make sure, what's your is it Lexorcist, Spooky Bad and Thick? What is your tag on YouTube?
Lexorcist across the board.
Lexorcist with the CYST.
Like assist.
Like assist.
Nice and icky.
Max, do you have anything to add before we have to raid and go?
Nope.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on. One of my favorite things ever is Max for predominantly like books guests that like he really loves and wants to talk to and get and like know more, but I feel like secretly in the back of his head he knows which guests that I am absolutely going to fall totally in love with, and he has not done wrong so far. I've enjoyed our conversation so much. You're so knowledgeable when it comes to horror, and I'm sure that your video essays are going to be amazing, and that's actually what I love to watch on YouTube and listen to on YouTube. So I'm really I'm looking forward to your video essays. So thank you so much, Lexorcist, for coming on today. And if you want to plug your schedule, what you're playing, I predominantly play Dead by Daylight. Any upcoming events you have where everyone could find you.
I mean,
let them know now.
No events or anything. Probably going to be checking out the new Phasmo content. Usually streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time right now. Other than that, I got nothing exciting going on. But I appreciate you guys having me on here so much. I was so excited.
So glad. We're so glad to have you. Lexorcist for Femmes the Fog, Lexorcist for Dead by Daylight Creator Program, Lexorcist for President. And for the main writer for the next Freddy movie. I'm so looking forward to I now any movie that's gonna come out, it's not gonna be as good because I want your version. So
I mean, me too. Me too.
Max, who are we sending all of our friends to today?
We're going to raid the wonderful leader of the crypt, Kristen. Wonderful being.
Nice.
Love and adore her.
Our crypt community application still out?
I believe they've ended by now.
Okay. So if you they have closed, but Kristen runs the Crypt Community Stream team, and she's an awesome being. She's also part of the CEOs of Screams. So we stan.
She's great.
We love.
I know. I don't talk to her, but I know her.
Yeah.
Very sweet person. Thank you so much, Lexorcist, for being on. Yeah, she is glorious. You guys are all glorious. And yeah, let's hope for that Jaws IP. Let's just keep that. Let's hope.
I might
I can't wait to watch.
DVD back up for Jaws.
Yes.
Yes. Let's make it happen.
All right.
Fuck yeah. Alrighty. Bye, everyone.
Bye.